Hello, everybody, and welcome to character creation for Desperate Measures. How are you guys doing today?
Doing well,
Fantastic.
Neil.
Doing well.
Fantastic.
Excellent.
Beautiful, actually. To switch
Not
it up.
just fantastic, but outright beautiful?
Absolutely. Well, I don't. If someone else was fantastic, I'm beautiful. We don't want to switch it up.
I see. Desperate Measures is going to be a second edition D&D campaign. It is going to be taking place with citizens of Mystria, the kingdom that has been ruled by Scoria, the Red Dragon, for longer than anyone can really remember. And the kingdom that is currently getting their ass handed to them in the middle of a war. They are wrecked across the board and screwed. And our players here, our characters, are going to have to resort to some desperate measures in order to get by and prevent themselves from being further screwed over, prevent their families from being burned by the dragon because they can't pay tribute because another kingdom's already come in and wrecked their place, and now they don't have any money to pay the dragon, so the dragon's going to burn down their towns if they can't find some more money. It's going to be a complicated mess. So, let's make some characters.
So the dragon's kind of like the landlord. He doesn't care that you just got fired from your job. He's still gonna like ask for the money and doesn't care about everybody else.
Yeah, Scoria is just like, I get tribute in some form, whatever form I'm wanting to demand right now, and if you can't pay it, I'm just gonna come and fuck up, make your life miserable. She's much more of a if you cross me, I will make you suffer, rather than if you cross me, I will kill you. If you annoy her, she'll kill you. But if you're like, we don't have the money, or oh no, we're not hiding any of our gold, I swear, but she knows you are because she has spies everywhere, she'll like steal your children, or take you on a flight while she burns down towns around you and be like, look at the suffering that you were causing by not paying tribute, and then put you back so that you'll actually get your shit done.
I got you. So it's your fault that I'm an asshole, kind of thing, right?
She's the evil queen bitch of the world at this point, of your world at
Makes
least.
sense.
And I guess before we get to our character creation, we should probably introduce who our players are. So that way is Lucas, Mr. Mouton. Hello,
What's
buddy.
up?
How you doing?
How's it going? I'm well. How are you, Neil?
I'm good. Do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
I am Mr. Mouton, formerly Brad Barbo. Now he has resigned to sailing the high seas of Koibu's world, and I think I'm going to be playing a cleric.
Ooh, okay. And on the other side of me, we have Connor, also known as Quantum Mech. Hey, buddy.
What's up? You guys see me a lot in shenanigans. I do this shit on the weekends, and can't wait. Don't know what I'm gonna play it. See what we get.
Excellent. And over in that direction, we have Will.
It's not the order we opened our games in. That was very unexpected. I know, right there. My name's Will. I play in shenanigans sometimes. I'm excited about this. Looking forward to playing with these individuals in whichever direction they might be. I'm not quite sure. I should open the stream.
It's hard to figure out. That's why I
correct.
picked you. Yeah.
But yeah, good deal. Good deal.
And over in that direction, we should have Tom.
Hi, so my name's Azurewind. This is probably one of my first D&D experiences ever. I usually play XCOM. I'm a pretty new streamer, so I appreciate being here. And I'm not really sure what I'm going to be playing.
Excellent.
But I guess we'll find out. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Right. And Barovian Castle. Let's get some background music while we talk about character creation.
Excellent.
So, we're going to be playing 2nd edition AD&D. It is advanced. That's what the A stands for. We are going to be playing some down and dirty peasants, so no nobles, no fancy people, no elves. I think you're probably all going to be human. Maybe if one of you wants to be like a halfling or a dwarf, we can swing that. But you're coming from a pretty human-centric area. We're going to be limited to one spellcaster. And it sounds like Mr. Mouton / Lucas wants to be the one spellcaster. Is everyone cool giving up their spellcaster rights?
Absolutely.
That's good.
Excellent. Well then, I'm going to go grab the door because my food has finally arrived. I told you we shouldn't have been talking about Euler during the pre-show.
I told you to get a burrito or some tacos. And
why don't you guys chat amongst yourselves?
You argued about me with that one, but it's true. It's the first taco. By Netflix's standards, nonetheless, we didn't get into this with Neil, but there's a Tacos Chronicles thing on Netflix right now. If you're into tacos, all about tacos.
Is this a
Every
documentary?
taco. Absolutely. There's 6 of them, and they're each about a singular taco, and it's a 30-minute thing on each one. It's all in Spanish, so hopefully you're reading subtitles.
Hey,
I
took 4 years in high school.
Hey, well, there you go. You should be
enough.
beautiful then. All
All
I'm
right.
saying is, you should watch. 10 out of
That
10.
sounds awesome. Yeah.
Good to see you, Neil. What'd you get?
Roxy's Taco, an Indian Mexican fusion. So it's like a Indian curry mixed with Mexican rice and other flavorings in a burrito. It's
Oh.
amazing.
That sounds
Yeah.
fantastic.
Great to
It-
your door too.
Is
Things in
fantastic.
burrito mode.
That's
I
awesome.
mean, that's kind of hard to beat that, to be quite honest. I mean, how do you beat a solid burrito?
You really don't. So the first thing, so everyone's cool not playing a cleric, right? Or a spellcaster?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Great.
Like, too.
Great.
It's a level 9, right? I can switch it up at level 9. Is that fine?
Oh, planning for level 9. That's so cute.
That's what I'm saying. So yeah, it's cool. It's no big deal.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Let's not figure out what we're gonna do once we get to Mars. Let's try just to get to Mars first, okay?
Well, I don't
Plenty of
prescribe
roadblocks
to
on the
those
way.
anti-Elon strategies. I'm gonna get to Mars.
I hope so. So we're gonna roll some stats here, and there are a few ways we can do it. We could roll 3d6 to get like down and dirty peasant stats, which are great. But you guys are the hardy people who have survived and been sort of sent off to make money somehow. So you're probably an above average peasant. So maybe 4d6 d1, that's 4 6-sided die and you drop the lowest, is probably a better way to go. Additionally, we're going to have some stat restrictions. Constitution is going to be your most important stat, because survivability is going to be tough and you're going to want high con. And more importantly, no one's going to want to have low con because you're, again, the tougher people that have been sent out. So we're going to say the bare minimum you can put into your con is going to be 10. No one can have less than 10 con. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing what you're doing. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
So,
Well, Neil, I was gonna throw out a something for you. So your birthday stream's coming up, right? So I'd say if someone's giving me $20, I'll roll instead of a 4d61, I'll just roll a 3d6 for one stat.
no.
Okay.
No.
Well, just
We're not
I'll
gonna
play
bring.
an option.
We're
It's
not going to
fine.
bring any Twitch chat into this stuff. That's going to ruin our day. Never.
Look out of your Twitch chat.
Just close it. Don't even look at it. It's going to ruin everything.
Hey, I'll just,
Roll 3d6 down the line, dude. Just do it.
well, if I was 36
I'll be rolling
range, because I'll do
be rolling
range, but
46.
down the line's a bold move, my friend. Because you might not be a cleric then.
Yeah.
No, I'll be rolling 46. I'm afraid of the 36.
Yeah, I am too. 4061 sounds beautiful to me.
Eh. We'll do
All
fine.
right. So, in Roll20, first off, Tom, have you used Roll20 before?
This is my first time using it.
Great. In the upper right-hand corner, you're going to see a
Yeah.
whole bunch of tabs and shit. If you go to the
Gotcha.
gear tab, you're going to want to scroll down to the bottom,
Okay.
and it's going to say player avatar size. Use that
Yes.
drop down to select names only. Otherwise, you're going to have shit in your
Yeah.
face all the time.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah,
All right.
Perfect.
And then everyone's going to want to go to the second tab called Journal. It looks like a folded newspaper, and you're going to see a character sheet in there for you. So you'll want to open it up, go to the character sheet
Immaculate.
tab, and this is where we're going to be inputting our stats into things.
Gotcha.
So why don't we just go down the line in the order that they're listed in that area, which for me is Connor first. And Connor, why don't you roll us some stats? 40, 61, put them wherever you want.
How many do you roll? 7?
7.
There's one,
Oh.
That's a good one, brother.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh my
and
god. You have good stats. I think we have found our frontline fighter, but we'll see.
Seems beautiful.
Next in my order is going to be Lucas. Whoa. Ooh, those are good stats too.
6, and then that's 7?
That is 7.
Ooh.
Beautiful.
Terrible.
15 and a 16 is hella bomb.
Good.
Yeah.
Next up we have Tom. So to
Okay.
roll stats, you're gonna in the the chat box area, which is the first tab on the left in the upper right-hand corner. You can type /R space 4D6D1, all as a
Perfect.
string.
Okay.
And
Beautiful.
Okay, and then you can hit the up arrow and hit enter to enter it again, or you can
Just
type,
keep going
copy
up.
and paste. Yeah, however
Okay.
you want to do it. 13, 16, 11, 6. Love these low stats. 7.
Hey,
13. One more, 11. You got a 16 in here. That's a good stat. That's really nice. And last but not least, we got Will.
You know what? We're gonna throw in RD100 for luck. It's a 94. I believe in myself.
good.
Oh.
12, 7, 14, 1, 2,
That is 7.
5, 6, 7. Yep, that's it.
Okay. Let me collect everyone's stats here for a moment. So this is going to be...
I like this
Tom.
spread. It's like we got plenty of good stats with some like really good low points.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
are we filling these in?
Points, though.
Are we filling these in right now as far as our stats are? Or do we apply these
Yeah.
ourselves?
You're gonna fill them in and
Okay.
figure out where you want to put them.
Okay.
So before you really put them anywhere, you're gonna
Right.
want to know what you're building, or
I
you
gotcha.
can put them somewhere and then build something without the way you want to do it. But it's up to you
Okay.
guys.
Okay.
So the only thing I want to say again is con's going to be important. At 15 Constitution, you get a bonus to your health roll every time you roll for HP. So
Okay.
if you can, making your con as high as possible would be great, but make sure it
Right.
keeps as a minimum of 11. If you're going to
Okay.
be a fighter, strength, constitution, and dexterity are your most important things. If you're going to be a rogue, it's going to be dexterity, charisma, and perception are going to be your
Right.
most important things. If you're a cleric, wisdom, and whatever else you want.
Right.
So, how do you guys want to? Who wants to play what?
Yeah, you know what? I'll take it over. Since everyone thinks I got it,
Yeah.
I got this. All right, so I want to play a woodsman, like a dude who's like he chops the wood, he brings the wood back to town. So I want him to be a fighter for sure.
Okay.
So we'll throw the 17 in strength. We'll throw my 14 in con. We'll throw a 12 in dex, and the rest of them I'm still thinking about. So
You said
I'm gonna
17 strength, 14 con. What was your dex?
12.
12. Okay.
Yep. And that
Okay.
leaves me with my terrible stats and everything else to still figure out. But
Okay.
we'll be a fighter for sure. Let's see good
Um,
fighter stats.
So, Tom or Connor,
Mhm.
what do you guys want to play?
That moment
Connor,
when
you should go
realize-
first. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
Connor,
moment
go
you realize
first.
your stats can actually make you get a viable paladin. I'm thinking maybe a ranger or just a straight fighter.
Okay.
Still not sure which one I want to do yet.
Okay. What about you, Tom? Do you want to go fighter or rogue? Or
Yeah, it seems like I might be okay for either, but I'm feeling like I should probably go fighter. And I don't know if I put that 16 in just constitution and just be a crazy
So-
beefy dude,
Mm-hmm.
or I don't know. Yeah, what do you guys think? Yeah, I'm open to
So
anything.
you're throwing the 16. I think you got two options, right? So you throw a 17 in your strength because you're a strong boy, right? And then
Mhm.
you got dexterity and constitution left, right?
He doesn't have a 17.
Oh yeah, I got a
uh,
16.
He's got
I'm sorry,
16.
I was looking at Moon's. I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's okay. Yeah, yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Connor's, my bad. Oh, 16. Oh, never mind. I take back
16,
what I was
13,
saying.
13, 11, 7,
Ooh.
6. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a weird.
I take back. I'm looking at Connor's
Yeah.
stats, my bad.
Oh no, that's okay. Yeah.
Well,
Mm.
considering it looks like you're probably going to have 3 fighters. So one of you is probably going to want to be the ranged fighter with higher dex. Because if 16 and 17 dex, you get bonuses to your missile hit. And you also get bonuses to your AC. So you could
Okay.
be like a mid-range fighter, sort of a backline that comes up to the front, maybe not heavy on the
Sure.
armor, but high on the dexterity. So
Right.
does someone want to do that? Connor, looks like you're putting a 17
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I can just straight up be a ranger. So,
Okay.
Are you gonna do that direction? Just be a ranger?
yeah.
All right. Cool.
You want to put the 16 in strength instead of con? 16
I'm thinking
con is
about it.
plus 2 HP.
I agree, and I'm thinking about it.
And the 16 dex is 2 AC, right? That's the trade-off. You either get more
Something like that.
raw staying power or
Or more
RNG
AC.
gods.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Well, but
also
he's-
thinking about
yeah.
that 10% XP though.
Yeah, that's also the problem.
Well, let's take a look at the requirements for Ranger. You meet it, you think?
I've got it. Yeah, I've got it. So you need Strength 13, Dex 13, Con 14, Wisdom 14.
Okay.
Yep.
And if you
So-
are a Ranger, well, you won't get to 8th. We won't have to worry about 8th level, but at 8th level you start getting spells. That's fine.
Lovely start.
I mean, I feel like that's out of your low
That's-
tier spell casting. At 8th
Yeah.
level, if someone's showing up with spells, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Even
Okay.
then, at 8th level, to be like super basic wilderness spells. Like, oh,
You get some
find
pretty good spells as a ranger.
There.
Level 1.
Yeah, you'll get some cool cleric spells. You're nice.
Yeah.
You get to be a fighter with healing, which is pretty cool.
Yep.
At 8th level, I guess.
So,
You know?
let's see what else you guys are doing.
So I'm thinking, yeah, I mean, I guess if I'm gonna be a fighter, I'm probably gonna put the 13 strength, 13 dex, 16 con.
Okay.
Maybe, probably,
Okay.
given that con is it seems like a important stat. And then I guess it just depends on how I want to allocate the rest of
them.
the
Right.
lower, yeah.
So it looks like you're going to have the highest con of the party, unless Lucas
Sure.
throws a 16 con as well. So you're going to definitely be the frontline fighter. You're probably going to have the most HP of the party the whole way through. And then
Okay.
it'll probably be Will and Connor, because Will's got a bonus to damage and hit, and Connor's got a bonus to damage and hit. So
Okay.
they'll probably be the DPSs. Broadly speaking, you'll probably be the tank, broadly speaking.
Right. Sure.
And then Lucas is our support.
Okay.
Ugh. It's going to be great.
I was thinking 15 strength for Tempos cleric,
Okay.
14 con,
Oh.
16 wisdom. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I just need to scroll. You're good.
Oh, 16 wisdom. And then I don't really know, I guess, like where I should throw like my low score, like the 6. Do you guys have any suggestions?
We all don't need to dump perception. It's going to be my...
I'm taking 12 perception.
Does
Okay.
anybody have a high perception then?
12 is pretty high for perception.
I'll
12.
You have to think, so 2E is kind of like playing blackjack or whatever. 21's the magic number. You need to hit a 21 all the time. So if you roll a dice plus your stat needs to equal 21.
Oh, I see.
So if you're a 10, you need to roll an 11. If
Yeah.
you got an 11, you need to roll a 10. So that's kind of like the best way to prescribe it is 21 is your magic number. So if you're trying to roll something, the higher your stat, the better off it is. So for me to like fail a strength roll with a 17, I need to roll a 4 or a 3 or lower, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah. So for my dex, int, and charisma, does it matter for a cleric? I guess where the 2 11s and the 10 goes.
Not particularly. You're gonna dump perception?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna be the oblivious cleric then.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'm down with that. No, so you can do 10s or 11s, and it won't really make a difference.
Okay. Cool.
Just put the 11 the 10 where you want, where you care a little less.
Yeah.
So Neil, correct me if I'm wrong, but you don't have any perception modifiers until you're out of 18 or like lower than 6, right? For your stuff? Like, it
Yeah,
takes a
it's pretty
huge
high.
swing.
You've got to be on the extreme to get modifiers from perception. Your perception stats are mostly going to be used for just spotting checks and rolls.
Right. But I mean, if you don't spot stuff and you get ambushed all the time, it's pretty fucked. So
Is it more important to have the 16 and the wisdom or strength? Does it matter?
Wisdom.
for you, wisdom,
Wisdom?
absolutely.
Absolutely. It allows you more bonus spells
Mhm.
and a lot of other things. Like
Okay.
with Wiz, you would get 2 extra first level spells, 2 extra second level spells.
Oh, got it.
Makes
I'm
it-
going to link you guys a document in the Discord DM members. This is our auto statter. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a look at the stats that you've rolled, and you're just going to put them into these boxes on the auto statter page,
Cool.
and then you'll hit the whatever button it is at the bottom, the submit button, and it'll fill out all of the substats for you.
Oh, fantastic.
And that will save you some time. You're going to notice, though, in Constitution, the character sheet that you're looking at doesn't have a resurrection % on it. It's because we don't have resurrection. So you
gotcha.
can just ignore that. Also, make sure to put in your level and your drop down your class if you're not a fighter. That way you can get your saving throws and shit. And then we'll fill out these character sheets bit by bit. In the
We're
meantime,
starting at 1, right?
Oh yeah, we're starting at 1.
Yeah, good shit.
It's gonna be beautiful.
Awesome.
It's only 85 pounds for 17 strength, really?
Before you start being encumbered, yeah. Do you know how much 85 pounds is? To carry 85 pounds without, like, while still being able to run at full speed is pretty fucking impressive.
Right, so I'm gonna counter you on this and say that, like, have you ever watched a thing where the people are running in the modern day military gear, the dude's running the knight armor, and the guy's running in, like, just a straight up just carrying weights, and see who does better?
I will put to you that any soldier running with a full pack is going to be running slower than somebody without a full pack.
The knight kicks the modern days guy's ass, is all I'm gonna say. Like, by, like, upwards of, like, 10 minutes.
Which stat on here are you guys talking about?
I have no idea.
I'm sorry. I thought you guys were talking about like an encumbrance.
Oh yeah, that's the weight
Oh, yeah,
allow.
for sure. But I'm saying, like, a knight in armor, like, his armor offers more mobility than, like, current day shit.
Oh yeah,
Connor
no,
might be
for
able to,
sure.
like,
Well,
just go,
yeah, it's the difference between having your gear evenly distributed or your gear on your back.
right?
Yeah.
Well, it just seems like 85 pounds is kind of crazy because 60 pounds is like full plate, right? So you got 25 extra pounds after full plate to move around.
No, you just, if you're going to be carrying gear, you're gonna be encumbered. Like, that's just the way
All the
it is.
time.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
if you're carrying 85 pounds of gear, you're gonna move more slowly, and the peasant with no armor is gonna easily outrun you, like 100% of the time. So if you want to be geared up, expect to be encumbered, and that's just fine. Like, a lot of players hate being
I've
encumbered.
never not been
It's
encumbered in
fine.
one of your campaigns, Neil.
Well, encumbrance
I'll be
is
quite
expected.
honest.
It's expected when you got, if you want armor, especially.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
Alright.
But we don't get armor, yeah. Are you gonna cut our gold rolls down? That's what I was
Oh,
gonna
we're not
ask.
even gonna bother
First start.
rolling for gold. You're just gonna like get basic provisions and supplies.
Oh.
You're all gonna be a
Okay.
bunch of broke buddies.
Okay.
It's gonna be great.
Broke
You're gonna be so
I'm done
poor.
with all my stats. Sorry, I've just been sitting here.
Yeah, I think
Alright.
I think I'm good too.
Looks like you're done. Looks like you're done. Looks like you're done. Great.
Yeah,
So next
I'm
you're
done.
gonna want to go to the combat tab. I've already moved Tom over just so I can see it, and you're gonna see that there is a section for saving throws on the left side in yellow. The yellow things are saving throw
Gotcha.
related.
Yep.
Red things are attack related. Blue are armor related. Green is HP related. So you're gonna want to fill in the saving throws from that auto statter page. It's on the lower left-hand corner. You'll see PPD is paralyzation, poison, death. RSW, rod, staff, wand.
Got it.
Should go all the way down.
Got it.
Done.
Let's wait for everyone to catch up.
We're doing great.
Will, you
that's
didn't put
very
anything
good.
in.
Oh, we're doing great.
In your stats. Your saves.
We're getting there, Neil. All right. I
Not
might
fast
have
enough.
I might have been slightly behind what I told you a second ago. Okay.
You said
I might
you
have been
said you were done and you were great, and you haven't even started.
Well, I was like 3/4 of the way through. All right.
I can
It
feel
was
that.
one of those,
I'm
like, by the
looking
time
at
you
your
got
sheet.
there-
It is blank. You have
this
nothing for
one's
your
done.
saving throws.
Where do I
Yeah, this
put
one's
the,
done.
Oh, that's 'cause he
base
has no
light
saving
heavy
throws.
severe?
Yeah, I have no saving throws.
That's going to be on the
Just
gear tab.
encumbrance?
Yeah, it's going to be the gear tab is where you do your encumbrance.
Got it. Thank you.
I can already feel this is going to be our antagonistic relationship, Will. We're going to be at
I
each
know.
other's throats. It's going to be great.
But the difference though is I hope it's like all my antagonistic relationships where it's really more of a friendly thing at the end of the day. It's more
I
just
hope
a
so.
laughing matter.
It had better be. It's going to be shitty if it's not.
Well, see, the thing is we're both pretty calm people, so I don't feel like we're ever going to yell at each other very much. All right, so I'm screwing up on this on my saving throws. I hit your submit button. I'm looking at them. I don't see them.
You don't see saving throws in the lower left-hand corner?
No, I see.
Did
oh,
you
I
put your
I lied.
level as 1
Maybe.
in the upper right?
Yeah, I might have those now. I might be able to tab down this list.
There we go. There we go.
So we're just filling in our saving throws right now.
Yeah,
That's
we're
it?
just doing our saving
absolutely.
throws.
Okay, cool.
I'm just being a horrible player right now. Don't worry about it. It's
Do
fine.
you get like you know how in 5e you have like variant human and you get +2 to something? Does that happen at all or no?
No. Okay. If you are a non-human, you get +1 to one stat and then -1 to another stat.
And then a couple other things.
Yeah, there's some other racial nonsense in there.
So there's nothing that's for new save versus spell. That's not a thing in the auto. Okay, I got it.
Not as a human.
Okay, cool.
Am I
Really
allowed
not
to be a what's his name? A dwarf?
So we rolling HP now? That's the only thing I don't have.
No, we're gonna do gear in a bit. If you want to be a dwarf, you get +1 con, -1 charisma, I believe.
Yep.
That's correct.
And you can be a dwarf if you want. The only thing to consider, I shouldn't say the only thing, the biggest thing to consider when being a dwarf is that your movement speed is already going to start off low. It's going to start off at 9 instead of 12. So you will be, and then if you're encumbered on top of that, it's just going to get lower and lower and lower.
I think dwarves have something about being encumbered where they just don't.
Maybe.
They just don't get encumbered.
There are many additions, but I don't.
They're already low enough to the ground, you know.
Yeah, I'm checking shit.
Yeah.
You just don't.
Would you like to be a dwarf?
I was thinking about being a dwarf. Yeah, I think I would like to be one. I would move my stats around a little bit
Dwarf cleric, that sounds awesome.
to make it 16 con, 16 will, 14 strength.
Okay. Yeah, if you want to be a dwarf, that is totally legit. So you'll
Yeah,
get
I'll
the
be a dwarf.
+1 strength, -1.
+1 con, right?
Yes, +1 con, -1 charisma.
Okay, cool.
So then you'll do 16
And
strength,
then-
16 con. No.
No, 14 strength, 16 con, 16 will, 11 int, 10 dex, 10 charisma, 6 perception.
Got it. Perfect. And then on your combat tab, we're gonna switch your. I'm doing it for you. We're gonna switch your race to dwarf. Yeah.
Do I need to? I don't need to re-roll the priest thing, right? Okay, cool.
No, everything else is fine. So everyone's done their saves. Cool. We're going to the next tab. It's the gear tab.
Cool.
And here you're going to see on the right side is a whole bunch of encumbrance nonsense. You're going to want to take your base, medium, light, heavy, severe from the auto statter and just plug those numbers directly into there.
Bang.
Where to lose my auto stutter? Where's it at? Oh, here we go.
Oops.
I already did that, right?
Yes, you have.
Awesome. Do dwarves in 2e get poisoned or no?
They get bonuses to poison saves. Which,
Is it 12, 6? Or you put it on the front page. You need to put your move speed, which is 12, right? And then you move from
yes.
there.
Yes.
It does everything else. Gotcha.
Yes.
This will be a male.
So my speed's 9.
Yes, your speed is 9. All right, Tom, we're gonna go to the front page for you. Give you speed
Oh,
12. Sorry, I'm just doing stuff to speed things along here. Great. Looks like
no, that's fine, I'm
everybody. You're all good.
No, you're good.
We're just waiting on Connor to put his encumbrance in, I believe, and then we are
My encumbrance.
ready to rock. Your encumbrance is not in. Looking at your sheet. Base, light, medium, heavy, severe are all zeros.
Oh, that. Gotcha.
Yeah. If you see your page, your character sheet switch around, it's because I'm clicking through your tabs and it'll always reflect what I do and what you do on the sheet.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So he's just God handing your sheet. Like he probably should be for mine all the time.
Cool. So next we're going to go back to the combat tab for everybody.
Got it.
And I just want to talk about some of the things we're going to see here. I'm also going to try and bring up one of these character sheets for chat. Connor, your character sheet is going to be the one that gets spectated, just so you know. Let's take a look here.
Errol.
Oh, no, I fucked it up. Damn it. I fucked it up. Hold on. Forgot that I have to do fancy magic first.
You're not pulling
There
up
we go.
Necropher sheet?
What? No, I'm not pulling up Necropher's sheet.
It's actually a lot shorter than you think it is.
You know? But I bet it's taller than me.
Well, that's not very hard.
There you go.
Ooh, the sheet is
Sorry.
all fucked up. Is there anyone else having viewing issues with their character sheet? Because in Firefox, it looks a little fucked.
Are you talking about the type, speed, and int being up inside of the hit adjust?
Are you having stuff like that?
Oh yeah, for sure. That's been going on for a long time. Ever since you changed your missile weapon like holder to the armor thing, they've been up at there in the middle of nowhere.
All right, I will have to make some adjustments for that. All right, so what we're going to be looking at here is I just want to lay out how all this stuff works for you. So on the left-hand side, we've got our saving throws, right? They're in that yellow box.
Yeah.
Some of you will have modifiers to your saving throws, either from racial abilities or from stat abilities or from magic abilities that you ended up having, and those bonuses aren't going to automatically be included in your roll. So if you see in the second yellow box at the bottom where it says like total, and you see like a 5 under total poison where those two, that column and row intersect, when you make a poison save, you get a +5 to that roll, which you will have to apply manually after the roll goes through. So you'll have the 4 different types of saving throw modifiers we have are all magical saves, specifically poison saves, or mind affecting saves, or saves that just apply to everything. So if you have like a +1 ring, it gives you a +1 to your AC and a +1 to all your saving throws. But if you're a dwarf with high con, you'll probably have just +4 against magic and poison or whatever.
Okay.
Cool. We all understand that?
Yeah,
So that
when
number. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys.
roll my saving throw, I add 4.
Right.
my
If it's
poison.
particularly a poison save. Okay.
Got it.
The next column over is the AC modifier column. Everyone has 10 natural AC. It'll import your dexterity modifier on its own. Your armor field is something that we're going to do piecemeal. You'll see that there are 2 red rows below, one called weapon, one called armor. And the armor one, you can add, like you can click the add button and add like plate mail, has AC 5, and then you check the box for equipped, and then it'll automatically add your armor. And that way you can have multiple pieces of armor that you take on and off really easily to calculate your AC.
Got it.
Shield is important to note separately from the rest of your armor. It's usually going to be a modifier of 2, maybe a modifier of 3 if you're really good with shield eventually.
Yeah,
Okay.
You kind of fucked that, Aaron.
Did I fuck up your sheet?
No, it's good. It's good.
Cool. Magic will be for magic modifiers to your armor. We probably won't have to worry about it for a while. And you'll get encumbrance penalties to your armor if you get too much gear on you. I think you need to be at moderate encumbrance before you start taking AC penalties, but just be aware of that. All right, last box on the right is our combat modifier box. So every time you fighters level, you'll get a +1 to hit from your level. Our clerics will get a +1 to hit for every 2/3 level or something like that.
Yep. So you get your first +1 level
correct.
3, then you get level 4, then you get level 6. Level
Right,
7.
okay.
Unless you've changed your document recently.
Sure. And then below that, you'll have modifiers that are pulled in automatically from your stats for melee, missile, and thrown. And then you might get some sort of magic item or something at some point that gives you additional bonuses to hit, which is what you would put in that other sources columns. And on the right
So
side
like
of
a
that
+1
are,
sword or something like that. I'm sorry.
we'll put in the +1 sword in a different area, actually, but like
Okay,
maybe you'll
sorry.
have like gloves of war that give you a +1 to hit. And then there's a checkbox on the right of that to say whether you want to apply that effect or not.
Okay.
Everyone with me so far?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Next thing is the weapon row down below. You click add, you can start adding a weapon. So we could say arming sword. The number of attacks is just for you to remember how many attacks you get. You'll usually get 1 attack per round or 2 attacks per round, or if you're a specialized fighter, you might get 1.5 attacks per round, which is 1 attack this round, 2 attacks next, and vice versa, and flopping back and forth.
Okay.
And on the right side of that, there are some little radio buttons. So you can say whether this is a melee attack, a missile attack, or a thrown attack, because the modifiers to your attack are going to be different depending on the weapon type.
Okay.
And we'll fill all this stuff out together as we go along. But I just want everyone to have a working knowledge of how this shit works.
Sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
Any questions?
None that I can think of right now.
Great.
I probably will when it goes into practice, but yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
We're going to flip over to the gear tab just for a moment. You'll notice 2 areas for wealth. One is for the wealth you carry on you. One is for the wealth you've got hidden away somewhere. The reason we separate it out is that coins weigh amounts. 50 coins to the pound. So you might not want to be walking around with like 5,000 copper because that would be 500. That would be 100 pounds worth of weight. It's just too much to carry around. And you'll also see that you've got 4 little buttons called On, In Pack, Animal, and Other. And that is for where you have gear stored. Mostly, we're just going to leave it in what you have on you and what you have in your pack. And it's important to note what is on your character versus what is in your backpack, because you might lose your backpack. You might need to drop your backpack for some reason. There are many times, there are many times where you won't have your backpack with you. So you're going to want to separate where things are on your person.
Right.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. All the boring mumbo jumbo out of the way. Let's go back and do something fun again, like rolling hit points.
Excellent.
Yay! All right. You are all the tougher people that have been sent out. So we are going to give you a better roll for HP. Normally in 2nd edition, it's just a flat D10 for fighters. And you might get 1 HP at level 1, which is brutal. Or 10. And it's a brutal roll. But you guys are the tough people. You are the ones that have been sent to go raid these foreign lands and bring back some money to pay the dragons so that your families won't all die. So you're going to start with at least bare minimum of half HP. So we'll go down the line one by one. We'll roll for HP. And if you roll less than your minimum, we'll just start you at minimum plus your con bonuses. So let's start with Connor. You're going to roll a D10.
D10. Perfect. Let's do this, boys.
Let's go 10.
4. 4
like
rounds up to
5.
5. All right. So that goes in your combat tab. 5 current, 5 max. All right. Next is Lucas. You're going to be rolling a D8.
I believe in you.
Con bonus, is it 2?
Your con bonus is 2. I have adjusted it on your sheet.
Okay, cool.
It's just a roll. He'll add it after.
Awesome.
We believe in you.
Oh, so you're going to start with 4 plus 2 is 6.
Nice.
Cool.
Next up, we have Tom. You're a fighter with 16 con. Ooh, we need to fill out your auto statter stuff. I will get to that. Why don't... I could have sworn you had all your stuff filled out. I mess up?
No.
In this base area. So, Tom, you're going to roll in the chat. You're going to roll /R space 1d10, and you want to roll as high as you can, buddy. Oh,
Nice.
That's perfect. You're going to start with 12 HP because you have high con. I will fill out your other stats for you right now. And last but not least, we have Will. Make it happen. D10.
Let's do this.
I'm scared.
You should be.
I don't want to do it. It's a 1.
1. Well, that rounds up
That's
to
why
5.
I was scared.
It rounds up to 5. You'll be okay.
It's okay.
You might be muted, everyone.
All right. I'm so sorry, Koibu. I apologize. I totally
You know what? I can't work like
out.
this, Tom. Get the fuck out. It's fine. It's
I'm
fine. It's
sorry.
your first session. It's your first session. Great. Everyone's got hit points. Everyone's got stats. Now is time for the nitty gritty details. The things of like, what weapons are you going to be using? What armor are you going to have? How do you want to build your character? And I think to know this, we kind of have to know who you were and what you did in life before you did this. Now, you're all from the bottom of society. The highest social ranking person here is going to be the dwarf, because you're a cleric, and clerics are well respected and important members of the world. So maybe you'll probably start with the best gear or the most expensive gear, if it works for us. While everyone else should start with crapola.
Okay.
So let's start with Connor. You're a hunter, you said, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Talk to me about your hunterness.
Definitely don't get out a lot. Like, not really a bad person. It's just I grew up in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Make my living out there. Kind of just pass under the radar. Don't really know a lot. Don't need to know a lot. Make my way around the woods.
Okay.
Oh.
So you are a standard woodsman. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
will probably need some sort of missile weapon for hunting, some sort of
Oh, yeah.
bow type thing.
Definitely longbow.
Okay. Not a short bow. A short bow is more meant for hunting. And the
Hey,
damage
man.
difference between them is insignificant. It's only there is no
Insignificant.
damage difference. It's just the
Really?
range difference. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think a short bow might be more appropriate for you.
Sure.
And then you're gonna need some sort of melee weapon. What would probably not a sword, but what
I
would
think a
you
dagger.
want? You want a
Definitely.
dagger?
Got to be able to skin that shit. Cut up everything nice and.
Gotta cut it up, man. I mean,
Gotta cut it up.
who's ever cleaned an animal before? You gotta need a knife. You need a
Yeah, I
dagger.
could do that.
That's good shit.
Could
I
also
got you.
use a spear.
What
A
is an
spear?
ultra spear?
Ultra
It's a
spear
regular
is
spear. It's
a
just
regular
A
spear.
2d4 spear, which is Neil spears, which are overpowered.
Chat
'Cause
is
they
just
always
salty.
hit above a 2 on both rolls. So,
Chat is just
a
salty.
2d4, which is basically a minimum of 2 on each roll. And that's
It's-
Neil spears.
It's an
Every
av-
time.
a
I think it's a real thing too.
Your
Real.
medium-sized weapons all do D8, and 2D4 is basically the same thing as D8. It's half a point higher on average. And spears are a very effective weapon. They should be slightly better than most other things.
good,
They're
yeah.
cheap to produce, effective in combat, and versatile for all sorts of things. Spears are
Yes.
the weapons that dominated battlefields up until the invention of gunpowder.
Absolutely. And that's why you'll die to mini spears, because Neil spears are very good.
They're regular fucking spears, all right? You
Very
get your
regular.
ultra spears and your winter gods, and you can shove them up. You know where you can shove them, all right? That's all I gotta say.
Well,
Oh my
obviously
God,
their
sick.
items aren't very good at hitting things, so I don't know how I feel about the winter gods. That's all I'm gonna say. They have no bonuses, 0 bonuses to hit ever. So the winter gods aren't as good.
What if somebody throws them at you, or is that only javelins? Can
No,
Well,
you
you know
can-
what? I tried many throwing activities with the winter god stuff, and let me tell you what, 0 successes.
Yeah, because there are no winter gods. This will make sense to you eventually, Tom. I'm
I got
sorry.
you.
They're
I
they're
got- no,
memeing
no,
too
that's
hard.
Sure.
So you're gonna also grab a spear, Connor?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That seems fine. Okay. Great. And
It's
I
just a
think
pointy stick.
you are a woodsman, so you could probably start with leather armor since you are,
Yeah,
you know,
probably made
that
it
sort of
myself,
thing.
too.
You probably did. Which means that when it comes time to for proficiencies, you should probably get leather working.
Yep,
Okay.
that's like
Um,
what? 1 AC, 2 AC.
We'll start with you with a breastplate,
Sure.
which is 2, a leather chest,
Sure.
and you can forge leather limbs as
Excellent.
it becomes important. Fantastic. All right, let's flip over to Lucas, our dwarven cleric.
So I'm gonna be a cleric of Tempos. Do you have any, I guess, lore help for why I would be in this area? I was thinking maybe I'm like trying to find a new, like, sanctum or something like that. I don't know, monastery. I don't know.
Well, what I've been kind of working off, and we should probably talk about,
Yeah.
is that you are all from the same town or the same region that has been devastated and can no longer pay the dragon's tribute demands. Yeah.
Tribute.
And so the 4 of you have been sent out from this town to go, like, bring back some money so that your people won't die.
Okay.
And I think that the other 3 people are maybe like the most capable, and they needed someone to maybe not necessarily lead them, but help them out along the way. And since this is like the survival of the village, the lead cleric, the head cleric, opted to come and, you know, oversee the fate of this village. And if you're a cleric of Tempos, who is fate and time,
Yeah.
this is perfect for you.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds perfect.
Great.
Yeah, really.
I guess are clerics able to have? They're able to have shields, right?
They can have shields and they can have weapons. Yep.
Shield and spear,
You want to do a shield and a spear? You can totally
Yeah.
do shield and spear for you.
like Spartacus.
Like Sparta. Yeah. Greek hoplites were pretty bomb. So let's get you a spear, and we will get you a shield. You definitely don't have any armor because dwarven armor is super uncommon.
Rare. Yeah.
Because it's, you know,
Oh, I didn't
smaller
know that.
and well, you know, the dwarves are rare in this area, and so
Sure.
there's going to be, it's harder to find armor, and this is an impoverished area already. So in
Right,
this
okay.
context, dwarven armor is going to be rare. Let's get, you got a shield, give you AC 2. We'll fill out these things along the way. What other... You might also have a dagger or something with you, I think, Lucas.
Yeah. Do I have to have probably a holy symbol on me somewhere?
Yeah, you'll definitely have a holy symbol, certainly.
Can I have a holy book?
Yep, you'll probably want a holy book. It's probably your most prized possession and the most valuable thing the party owns. Let's flip on over to Tom. You are a human fighter as well. Mm-hmm. We've got the ranger, who's going to be doing all the bow stuff. What do you foresee as your role in society before you came over here?
So I was thinking of two things. The first thing I was thinking of is either I was a sort of, I don't know if in this universe they have like pit fights or like prize fighting or gladiator sort of things going on. That I was sort of a person that didn't really win a lot, but someone who got beaten down a lot. Okay. And that's sort of, I guess, where most of the hardiness comes from, and in terms of the constitution and the HP pool and stuff like that, is just someone who has just been beaten down, and just for some odd reason, people are just kind of like, why does this guy keep fighting? He just loses all the time. And it's like, no, he just keeps getting back in the ring, you know?
That's perfect. We're not going to have such like an institutionalized thing. It'll probably be more like the local street fights that happen. Yes. You know, you'll be like the back alley brawler that people are throwing money down on. Cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Something like that, I think. Yeah.
And so that's what you did that's just how you survived, is you were just the back alley brawler.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. And you know, not really, I don't know if there's probably in this universe there's no barehanded stuff, but I mean, like, I would be I would hope that would make me somewhat proficient with like some weapons, like actual weapons.
We will get you some barehanded combat stuff. I'm gonna dig into it to see what's the best way to go for you.
Okay, because I didn't want to ruin the lore, because I wasn't really.
I didn't want to. That's totally a thing. And we're also gonna give you a club, which is sort of like, you know, a random improvised weapon. So we'll start you off with that as a weapon.
Okay.
No, spirit of the party's ruined.
I'm out of here.
Probably a dagger as well.
Like, people are like, these are terrible choices. Oh God.
Don't listen to people. People are dumb. And in terms of armor,
you probably wish I could just run away for a while.
You probably won't have any to start off with, but that's okay. You got a nice HP pool, and I do foresee Connor making you guys some leather armor in the near future as you do shit.
Okay.
That'll probably be a nice power buff. Let's flip over to Will for your basic weapons and armor shit. Tell me about who you were back home.
Well, so my family back in the day, I was really young. I was like 6 or 7, you know, working up through my age. And my family had finally saved up enough money to like open up a store. But you know what? They fucked it up. I don't know why. I have no idea why. At the end of the day, the town burned down the family store, and me and Grandma got out. And we bounced out to the other side of Mystria. And I've been living with her, taking care of her, paying for her medicine and all the stuff. And it's just real costly. And, you know, I'm just been a fighter. I'm just trying to help her out and just, you know, do what I can. But Grandma's medicine is hella expensive. This is some bullshit. That's where we're at.
Shit.
Are these stats?
What do I do? I don't know. I was going to do like a wood chopping thing, but somebody else already did that, so I feel bad now.
Well,
I've been working on it. So
woodsman and woodcutter are very different things.
Cut down trees.
But, so...
Yeah.
My like little research on it was like back in the day, the woodsmen, they didn't chop down trees. They only like chopped off limbs. So they left like most of the forest up. So they really just like trimmed trees for as far out as they could go for wood for the town.
In good times, you would maintain the forest trees that already fell. You drag back out, you chop off things here and there. They would like keep the woods. But those are in the good times.
Right.
When so times are bad and you need fucking firewood, you just got to do what you got to do, right? So
is that still a good thing for your times? Is that still a lowbrow setting? Because I feel like everybody would need firewood, even like the uppity up people.
Absolutely.
So I feel like that was going up on your social train without trying to.
No, you're still just a woodcutter. You're easily replaceable. You're just a man with an axe. You fill an important role, but no one cares about you. You're like a farmer or a harvester. If no one's there picking the fields, everybody dies, but nobody gives a shit about the people working in the fields ever.
Perfect.
Right. So you're gonna be a woodsman.
I was gonna have a really cool axe that like it would chop down trees, but on the other side it was like a hammer, so you could like hammer in the wedges into the wood to split it. So that way you can make the wood every time. You don't need multiple items. You need an axe and a hammer. It's kind of like the same thing. You flip it from one side, it's an axe. The other side, it's a hammer. You know, so that way you can.
Well, you don't even need a hammer thing. You just have like a nice single-headed axe, and the back of it to help balance it out is already just a big blocky thing. So
right,
a wood
exactly,
axe
same thing.
perfect.
But it can be used to hammer in the stuff. That's what I was thinking of.
Definitely. So we're gonna give you a wood axe for a weapon, and of course maybe a
I was thinking
knife
two-handed
as a sidearm.
for sure. Big
Wood
big
axe is
stuff.
definitely a two-handed weapon. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I'm all on board.
The other side
Excellent.
of my spear is a shovel.
Cool. All right, we're about an hour into character creation. We've just done weapons. We've done all these other things. Why don't we take a break here, and we'll reconvene in 5 to 10 minutes, and we'll move on with armor and skills and backgrounds, and the players can take this time to think of their character name and think about any other background traits that you guys might want to have, and the viewers can go grab something to drink or whatever, and we'll see you guys in 5 to 10 minutes with some more Desperate Measures. Bye-bye. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Desperate Measures. So, next thing on our list is going to be gear and non-weapon proficiencies and weapon proficiencies. I think we should start with weapon proficiencies since we've already kind of started down that path, and then we'll move into non-weapon proficiencies, and then we'll move into gear. So, we've already talked about what weapons you have. You'll notice the fourth tab is the skills tab. And that's where we're going to go hang out right now.
Awesome.
So, the skills tab, you'll have a non-weapon section on the left and a weapon section on the right. So any weapons that you already have, add that weapon in there and put one slot under it for use. The fighters, the single-classed fighters of the party, can specialize, which will come into effect shortly.
Basically, I can't.
I don't put shield in weapon proficiencies, correct?
Correct. Okay, we do have to talk about your brawling, because there are brawling rules. There are a lot of them, and they are very effective in some areas and super ineffective in other areas.
I would imagine so, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So where is our specialist brawler? Pummeling gains the extra specialist attack and bonus damage. Your attack and bonus damage apply restricted for knockdown. Okay. And the damage for pummeling is pretty light. So your bare fists will inflict D2 damage. If you have some sort of like cestus or brass knuckles.
Brass knuckles.
Yeah, then we can probably bump that up to D4 damage.
Okay.
Which I think is going to be your best bet here.
Okay.
Let me double check this. So what you're going to put in your skills area under weapon proficiencies is going to be pummeling. And you're going to have 2 slots in it instead of 1 because you are a pummeling specialist.
Okay. Does that just represent both hands?
Yeah. We're going to...
Okay.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Cool. So... that's why we can't hear anything. So quiet. So let's see. Connor's got dagger, ultra spear, and short bow. Lucas just has the 1 spear. Tom has got club and pummeling, and Will has nothing.
Yes. So
You have wood axe and knife at least, right?
Correct. So for my proficiencies, I want a wood axe. So I've been chopping trees my whole life. We've been working on that. So we've been chopping trees, using knives. For the rest of my proficiencies, because my family, all right, so I don't know if we said this on stream, so let's back up. So my parents and my family had worked for a long time to make a really good business. And they tried really hard. My grandmother was really in on this, and when I was really young, like 4 or 5, they fucked it up. Just, you know what, bad luck. Jexel didn't bless them, whatever happened. Bad luck. They fucked it all up. Basically, everybody died or was executed or imprisoned. Bad news.
Terrible.
It was horrible news. I mean, it's why I'm still a peasant, right? So me and Grandma fucked on off to the other side of the continent, and I've been living with her, taking care of her. So what proficiencies should I have? I'm not really quite sure here, Neil. So could you help me out?
Yeah. For now, let's just talk about weapon. How long have you been a woodcutter?
You know what? I was like 6 or 7, and so Grandma sent me to the trees at like 10. So for like ever, and we're like 34. When
did your building your shop burn down? How old were you when that burned down?
We were like 6 or 7. We were real young.
Okay,
we
so
were, like,
it burned
the
down. You guys moved, and then you became a woodcutter.
Exactly.
Okay, so we're gonna give you a specialization with your axe, with your wood axe, and a proficiency with your knife. And is there any other weapon that you think you might be, proficient with?
I think the backside of the axe, because you're sitting there, as you're splitting wood, you hit the wedges on the backside. You don't actually need the front side. You just need to hit on the backside like a hammer to hit like the top of the wedges to split the wood, right?
Okay, I still think that falls under the purview of your axe, though. It's still the same weapon. Maybe we'll give your axe the option of doing slashing or
non-lethal?
bludgeoning damage.
Non-lethal on the backside, maybe with bludgeoning.
I wouldn't say non-lethal, but we can do like slashing or bludgeoning. You know.
Okay.
Well, we'll
That's
use
fair.
the regular non-lethal rules, which are separate and different. But we'll give your axe a slashing damage and a bludgeoning damage. Is there any other weapons that you might have picked up? I can't think of any off the top of my head, but maybe you have some lore or something you want to eject.
Knife and dagger, taking care of grandma. I don't really think anything else. No.
Okay, so you will be able to fold your additional unused weapon proficiency into your non-weapon proficiencies, which would be
Okay.
cool. Tom, you've got a club and your fists.
Yep.
Is there
Yeah.
anything else you might have learned how to use as a weapon throughout your life?
Yeah, I mean the background that I had thought of was sort of I guess when you're on the streets you kind of improvise with a lot of stuff. I don't know about daggers. Might be something that you would be somewhat
up.
good at.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
can. I think a knife or a dagger proficiency
Yeah.
makes perfect sense for you.
Sure.
Great. And as a
Yeah.
fighter, you start with 4 slots, and you've used 4, 2 for pummeling, 1 for dagger / knife, and 1 for club. So let's move on
Okay.
to Lucas, the cleric. I do believe clerics get 2 weapon proficiencies to start. So other than a spear, is there anything that you might know how to use as a weapon?
Am I able to give up a weapon proficiency and take a shield proficiency instead? Someone was talking about that.
There are shield proficiencies. They're more like expertise with a shield, but I think you would need to have some sort of formal training for that. And we're a down and dirty bunch of group here, so I don't know. Is there some reason why you might have a shield background?
I guess I would just assume like I don't know. I thought like clerics would kind of be trained in being more defensive and like being able to like take hits or whatever, and I guess like the shield would kind of let me do that. So
Maybe in the good times, but in the bad times, the clerics are. Yeah, it's the bad times. Training's gone down the hill. The clerics are just sort of like whoever has magical powers that pops up is like the cleric, and there's no further leadership to train you because it's everything's in chaos.
Could I ask this from what kind of dwarf do you think you are? Are you like a hill dwarf or like a mountain dwarf? Where are you from?
Ooh.
I guess I'm from this area. So what is like the?
You'll have to be a hill
what's this
dwarf to be
dwarf?
from this area.
Hill dwarf then.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll bring up a map in a bit and show it around, but you'll definitely have to have been a hill dwarf.
So I was
There's
curious.
one mountain. There's 2 mountain ranges around here. One of them is owned and run by the dragon, and the other just has a mithril mine at the top of it, and not much else going on in it.
Well, I was going to say,
Somebody
if
find
he's,
mithril up there.
There is mithril up there, but it is controlled heavily by the state and not easily accessible to
Also
others.
by the dragon.
Also controlled by the
What were you
dragon.
gonna say, Will?
I was going to say, maybe his dwarf was from the Dwarven people who taught him how to do it or how to use his shield, and then he came over to help out the humans because we're incompetent.
I do come from the great, the great, as I say, shield hill dwarves, known
For their
as the
shields.
greatest shields.
I mean-
and the reason that we have shields is because we're from the hills, so we live in the trees, and usually we make most of our weapons out of shields because in the hills there are
Horrible monsters who come
Did you
down
say
from
you
the-
make most of your weapons out of shields?
sorry, we make most of our weapons with shields. Like we have a shield and then we have a weapon to protect against the horrible monsters that are attacking us, which are usually like cats. So usually we have the shield to like fend off where their bite goes, and then we like stab them with our spears. That's why I have a shield. That's my case.
Let's take a look at the map that I brought you all to in Roll20.
Love it.
I'm going to circle the area that you're from. You might want to zoom in on it because, we're going to be looking at this area in particular. It actually does come down to here as well.
I see shenanigans.
Yeah. So we're over here. The party is going to have been from this southern part of the kingdom. This is the part that's been screwed over the most. And there's a lot of halflings that live in this area, and there are going to be a few dwarves, just a few. So you're going to be from these hilly areas, and you definitely weren't imported. Dwarves tend to be very family focused and very loyal. That's probably the hardest thing you've ever done, is coming here and leaving your family behind. So you weren't like, you definitely wouldn't have been a dwarf that came to help out the people and left your own people behind. That's treason and traitor talk in dwarven society.
Is this
So he couldn't.
gnomes, tomes, and catacombs? Because if it is, then I could have a reason for leaving Half Hill. I could have lived there.
I don't think there's enough time in between the events for that to have happened. If you're going to be the cleric here, you would have had to been here for a long time, probably born and raised.
Okay.
Yeah.
Born and raised.
So he couldn't have been from the Draken Ridge and moved over. It doesn't seem too far for that.
Nope.
That's like 30 miles, 40 miles to the hills.
Definitely not something that would have happened. No.
Absolutely. Then I believe you, Neil.
Okay.
100%.
Cool. Yeah, I think it's going to be important that you're all from the same area and you all have roots in the same area. That's the one glue that binds this party together, is the shared conflict in the past.
Okay.
Laconish Highlands.
Ah, yes. The Laconish Highlands. They are a dangerous area. There are giants and trolls and ogres and hobgoblins that live out there, in addition to scarier, more sneaky
And you know what happens
monsters.
if somebody hits you with a club and you don't have a shield? You die.
Bad things happen.
But if
Well,
you have a shield,
thank God you're a cleric who lives in the middle of town surrounded by plenty of other people.
amen.
All
Well,
right.
how do you think I feel being the guy with arguably the most HP in the party? And I'm like, well, I'm good with my fists. Maybe a knife. Maybe a
All
club.
I'm saying
And I was gonna
is-
yeah.
So I was just say, as long as you're not a halfling running away from an ogre, I think you're in a good spot. And then as long as Neil avoids the good dice, I think you're fine.
Sure. Well, I mean, I was gonna ask the same thing about shield proficiencies, but when it came to explaining how I basically pinned myself into a corner with my origin, I'm like, I really can't say where I came across a shield in the back room brawls of the streets, other than like if it's a wood plank I picked up off the ground and decided to bash somebody across the head with it. That's about it.
Yeah. Also,
but that's not really a proficiency.
There's two different types of shield proficiency. One is being better at blocking incoming attacks with the shield, and the other is being able to use the shield as a weapon while you're still fighting. So one's called a shield proficiency, one is called a shield specialization.
Gotcha.
It is an awkward combination of words here. I'm sorry, it's called the weapon and shield fighting style and a shield proficiency or specialization. And I think for either of them, you would need fairly formal training. And I don't think anyone
Military
here has formal weapons training.
Okay.
The one thing I did... Oh, yeah, go ahead. No, go for it.
Dagger specialization then, probably?
You can get a dagger proficiency, yes, definitely.
What does that do?
That will give you no penalties to hit when you attack with the dagger.
Yep.
Because otherwise you fight at -3. This is a good thing to talk about. In 2nd edition,
3 or 4.
if you are a fighter and you want to fight with a weapon you don't know how to use, you fight at -2 to hit. If you are a cleric, you fight at -3 to hit. Same thing for rogues. Wizards fight at -5, but we don't have rogues or wizards here, so we don't have to worry about them. So any of you could pick up any weapon and use it, but you'll get penalties to your attack rolls because you're not proficient with it. Yeah.
Right.
Cool. I did want to talk to you about one thing, Tom. You're a brawler. And if you want to attack with both of your hands, you can do so, but that's what we refer to as dual wielding.
Dual wielding.
And that gives that gives real penalties for combat. So we might want to drop out your dagger or knife specialization and give you a 2-weapon fighting specialization, which allows you to have fewer penalties with your attack rolls.
Yeah, if that's the case, I would rather. Yeah, which would you think I should drop? Should I drop the club or the dagger?
I think you should drop the dagger, because the club is something you're going to want to be able to, like, a club is an easy improvised weapon. And the one thing we haven't talked about your pummeling is if you're trying to pummel someone with a weapon, they will get opportunity attacks against you. So every time you make every time you try and punch somebody with a sword, they get a free attack to hit you. So there may be a time where you're going to want to pick up like a big stick to beat off an enemy with a weapon.
Ambidextrous, does he automatically get
You want to beat off the enemy often.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to fighting with 2 weapons, there are 2 things that modify this. Let's talk about the base, though. When you fight with 2 weapons, your first attack is at -2 to hit. Your second attack is at -4 to hit. If
Okay.
you are ambidextrous, you treat both attacks as if they're your primary hand, so they both happen at -2. If you
-2,
have the 2-weapon style of fighting, then you decrease each penalty by 2. So if you have, if you're ambidextrous, you get -2 to each attack. If you're a regular right-handed person with 2-weapon fighting, then your first attack is at no penalty and your second attack is at -2. And if you're
-2.
both ambidextrous and have 2-weapon fighting, then your attacks have no penalties to them.
No penalty. Gotcha.
Right. So what
Okay.
you should do is you should take 2-weapon style, and then
Right.
you have a natural 1 in 10 chance of being ambidextrous, which we should roll for right now.
The
So
dream.
roll a 1d10 and roll a 1.
Okay.
I thought you wanted to roll a 10.
It doesn't matter,
Oh, it's a
but
10 or 1. I
it's
mean,
roll a 1. We're calling it a 1 right now.
Okay, so I'm just rolling a d10.
A d10.
Okay.
You want to roll a 1. Oh, okay. You're a regular right-handed
Oh, wow.
person.
Damn.
Regular right.
It's okay.
Okay. Cool, but you
All
have
right,
2-weapon
I'm,
style. So you'll be...
Yeah.
You'll
That's
make
fine.
an attack with your right hand, and then you can always make an extra attack with your left hand at a -2
Yeah.
penalty, but it's a free attack, so that's hella bomb.
Yeah.
And that'll make up for your other shit.
We'll just say I'm orthodox style as opposed to switch or a southpaw. Yeah.
Right, and you can, as you level up, you can put
works.
stuff into that. When you hit
Gotcha.
3rd level, you'll get another weapon proficiency, and you can put that right into there. You can put that into ambidexterity, and then you'll have no penalties anymore.
Oh, okay.
So-
So when I level up, I can potentially just get that, and
You'll
okay.
you'll get that shit as you
Okay.
level. Cool.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
I forgot where we were. We hadn't gotten to Connor yet. That's where we are.
Yep.
So no, we were still in Lucas. You were gonna do a dagger and a spear for weapons, right, Lucas?
Yep.
Perfect.
but he wanted a shield, right? Like that was his.
He can
big deal?
have a shield, but he can't have a specialization with the shield.
Can you get a specialization later?
Yeah, that's something that you guys can potentially get down the road. Absolutely, 100%. Connor, you've got dagger, spear, and short bow. You have one more weapon proficiency.
One
What do you
more
want to do with
weapon.
it?
I've been thinking about it. There are a lot of things that make sense. Club would make sense because, I mean, you don't want to ruin the pelt. Club them. Axe would also, like a hand axe would make sense. Like, you don't need the full wood cutting axe necessarily, but, you know, just like be able to make your own fires and shit. Maybe even throw it.
Totally.
Yep. Probably go with club because you can turn anything into a club.
A club, I completely agree. Club is a great weapon to have on hand. You can use it in all sorts of situations. Fantastic. All right, that's the easy part, everyone. Now we're going to do the hard part. So, warriors, that's everyone but Lucas. You get 3 non-weapon proficiencies plus the number of languages you can speak, which is under your basic column of your character sheet, right next to your intelligence. So, for Connor, it'll be 3 plus 1. For Tom, it'll be 3 plus 1. For Will, it'll be 3 plus 4 is 7 non-weapon proficiencies for Will. Lucas, you are a cleric, so you get 4 plus the number of languages you can speak, which is 2. So you get 6.
And
Now-
where do I have these to choose from again?
In our Discord, I have linked you a bunch of documents. You're going to want to take a look at the NWP document. That's the middle one. And the last one is the definitions. Because the one that I've linked, the non-weapon proficiency one, is a spreadsheet. And it's listed in alphabetical order. And I'm going to just walk us through really quickly what all of this means. I'm going to try and also bring it up for chat so they can see the nonsense that we're talking about. And that way, if you guys need to follow along, you can follow along as well. All right, so we got this big ass spreadsheet. It's a mess. You got the name of the thing that you're looking at on the left side, the number of proficiency slots it costs in the next column, the score that it keys off in the third, any prime requisites that you might need to have before you can learn that thing on the fourth, and then the basic modifier to that ability on the fifth column. I know it's a lot, just bear with me. The last 4 columns are all who is allowed to get these. So, for example, you'll see that under administration, warriors, rogues, wizards, and priests can become administrators. So they can get that proficiency without any questions. Alchemy, however, is only available to wizards. So if a warrior, a rogue, or a priest wants to get alchemy, they have to spend one more slot on top of the cost. So for wizards, alchemy is 2. For warriors, alchemy costs 3, right? If that makes sense.
Sure.
Don't worry about the highlighting. That just tells me what book it's from, so it's fine. Don't even sweat it.
Gotcha.
So you're going to want to go through here and find skills that you might have learned in life.
Cool.
If you don't have a skill, your character's not going to have it. So if you don't take swimming, your character does not know how to swim.
Can't swim.
If
Okay.
you don't take literacy, your character cannot read or write. So our cleric is going to need to take literacy. You have to, because you're a cleric. But other than that, that's all sort of up in the air for you. So
Gotcha.
scroll through this list, find some things that jump out to you, put them on your character sheet, and then we'll make sure that you haven't gone over your total allotment of slots. Connor, you're going to definitely want to take leatherworking, which I
Already
think
have
you've
it.
already put it in. Good boy.
Yep.
You.
Good child. Good job. Pat on head.
Oh, excellent.
Leatherworking, tracking, and direction sense. Those are great.
I mean, I just get tracking for free.
Oh,
And I
because you're a
put that
ranger.
in.
Yeah.
hmm
I put that in skills.
You'll put that in
Did you
skills on
make
the left
stats
side.
for a ranger?
Got it.
Yeah.
Oh, badass. That's fantastic.
I just get it, and then I keep getting a +1 every 3 levels.
So when it says prereq, does that mean you have to have the other? You have to have the
Yes.
other proficiency in order to have that
Yeah,
proficiency.
what are you looking
I
at?
understand. So okay, no, I was just curious. So like
Okay.
I understand now. So like animal training requires animal handling. You have to know how to handle animals before you can train. I get.
There you go. Yeah.
That makes sense.
You're a good smart cookie. I'm glad Mouton brought you along.
What are you guys thinking? Anyone want to talk about what they're looking for?
Well, I'm trying to figure out with grandma what I need to do here, right? Like we've been taking care of her for our whole life, but do we really need to get all the way up to healing to take care of grandma? Is that
You're
really necessary?
definitely not a trained healer. No way. Because if you were a trained healer, you wouldn't be a woodsman. You would be a healer for your job. That would
Right,
be.
but like grandma saved us from out of town and we've been living with her my whole life. So we've just been taking care of her. That's why we're still where we're at, right? Like most of our time and effort has been taking care of her. And with no trained healing, that could take more time than necessary. So can we get like a lack of proficiency? Could we like dumb down a proficiency somewhat so it takes more time?
You want like a negative healing proficiency?
I want between non-proficiency and proficiency, somewhere in between, right? Like untrained proficiency.
Oh,
right?
no, that's too many degrees of narrowness here.
Well, I'll say we
think.
could take your prerequisites and then we could just cut it in half or whatever it was on your modifier. If it was a positive,
really-
we would take a positive, or is that
I
too
don't
much for
really,
you?
I don't really understand what you mean. You don't want to be a proficient
So-
healer, but you don't want to be an untrained healer. You want to be halfway between untrained and proficient, which
Correct.
I don't
So,
know what sort of
let's say
mechanical
I've been-
advantages that would even give you.
So it would be like 3/4 proficiency, I guess. So like if you're not proficient, you're halfway, correct, in 2E? And if you're proficient, you're 100%, let's say. So if you're
Okay.
halfway, you'd be 3/4. So halfway between proficient and unproficient.
Okay. My big counter to this is that just because you got a sick grandma doesn't make you a healer. Like,
Right, but
You
we've been
can-
doing this since I've been 8 years old. Till
but what I'm
my
saying is that like
36th year of my life.
sick grandma might have one specific condition that you treat. Healing
I
proficiency
see.
covers all sorts of ailments. It covers fevers, covers injuries, covers broken bones, covers toxins. Like it covers a broad area. If you got a sick grandma that you take care of, you're a sweetheart, but you ain't no healer. Like you can't patch up Joe Schmo who got hit in the chest with a battle axe because your grandma's like, got consumption, if that makes sense.
Fair enough. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, well, somebody else, you're up.
Anyone else have anything they want to ask about or talk about?
The modifier column. I'm sorry. Can you go over that again? I'm sorry.
Sure. So
Yeah.
let's say you have an animal handling proficiency. That
Okay.
keys off of your wisdom, which is the
Yes.
same as your willpower. So
Right.
you have 6 willpower, 6 wisdom. So if you want to make an animal handling check, you roll a wisdom check. Then the modifying column is what that modified is by. So animal handling keys off of wisdom, but is kind of hard. So there's a -1 penalty to that. So you would roll a d20 +6, which is your wisdom,
Minus
-1, right?
Okay, I understand.
So that's the difficulty column almost.
Because currently I'm looking at running, which seems to be one of the only Constitution related abilities. Actually, it seems like it is the only.
I think it's the only
one.
Constitution one, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm seeing that's a -6, and I was like, ooh.
Yeah, and this
yeah.
is where that last sheet I linked you is going to come into play. The sheet with the definitions, because the definition for running
fantastic.
here isn't so much like speed; it's more of like endurance runner.
Perfect.
Like,
Okay, gotcha.
You can be a messenger and take shit far.
Right,
you
and
know?
that's why it's hard, because you gotta push. Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Okay.
How do you feel about Omen rating for my Tempos cleric? That's probably fine.
That seems perfect. Yeah, that actually seems very like spot on.
In character.
So how many are warriors? I'm sorry, with base proficiencies?
They start with 3 plus your number of languages.
3 plus language? Okay.
Yeah, and I think you get 4 languages, so you should have 7
Correct.
total. Connor, you did 3 and 1 for 4. You got tracking for free. Leather, working, direction, sense, hunting. I think are all 1, right?
Yep, I'm still working on my last
perfect. Got 1 more to go.
I should know etiquette, right? As a cleric?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily, okay.
You can if you want.
On our character sheet, when we're putting these in, or are we putting these in right now, or?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, non-weapon proficiency. Okay, I see it now. Yeah.
Perfect. Connor, I'm just going to switch up some columns where your modifiers are. The base is the base modifier. The adjustment is like as you level up.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Stupid shit. Right. Lucas has got literacy and omen reading thus far. That is, what, 3 slots out of your...
3 more?
4 plus 2 is 6. Yeah, so you're halfway there. Sorry, I'm fucking up everything. 3 out of 6. Tom's
Do you have any others
looking
you'd recommend?
for a dwarven cleric of Tempos, Fate and Time. You might just want to pick up some like background things that you might have,
like ancient knowledge or whatever.
Ancient knowledge. Well, tell me about why are you? Who are you? Who are you, man?
His name is. Forgot it. It's not coming up. Oh, his name is Ebner. He's a cleric of Tempos. He pretty much studied. I'm guessing there's like a higher cleric in his order, or would he be like the only? I don't know how clerics work again.
Yeah, so at this point in time, you are the only cleric in the town, and you've probably been the only cleric in this town for like 60 years. Since you're a dwarf,
So-
you're going to be older.
Do you think I had to go somewhere to like learn the cleric shit, or did it
No, it's innate. It's a blessing of the gods. One day you were praying to Tempos, and like a minor miracle happened, and then you prayed some more and did some more shit, and all of a sudden you're fucking casting spells. So it's
okay?
it's a personal connection with your Lord and Savior.
Okay, I thought it was something that you more like kind of studied, but no, that makes sense. I guess I should probably know languages ancient because I'm guessing a lot of the old Tempos books, because he's a god, right? So a lot of them are probably like really ancient languages and stuff like that.
Okay. And why don't I say? Why don't we say instead of everyone else is going to just basically speak the common language of Mystria, where you're from. You might have learned all the nearby languages, so you could pick up Eridonian, you could pick up Dracissian, you could pick up. You'll definitely already start with Dwarven and Common, but you can spend a slot on languages modern, is what we call it.
Okay.
And that would get you the other
common is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, you guys will all speak Mystery in Common, but he might also speak Eridonian Common and Dracissian Common, because the languages haven't changed that much over time. But this is how you still get the language buff and the knowledge buff is through modern languages. I like that.
Cool.
So you're going to want to pick some languages that you know.
Okay. What are like so I get 2 for this?
Let's take a look. Languages. Oh, it's not on the other list. So I think it's just 1 proficiency equals 1 language. And you start with Dwarven and Mystrian. And the other ones that I would recommend to you might be halfling. Those are people that live nearby, but they usually all speak common. Eridonian and Drakisian. Those are like the big 3 that you might want to know.
Do you think I should spend all 3 of my points on that, or should I just spend one of them and then 2 and 2?
I would at least get Eridonian because you guys are going to be going to Eridon. And then Halfling and Drakisian are both like super good choices if there's nothing else you want. Like,
right,
why don't you
so
call those your backup and then see if there's anything else that calls out to you.
Definitely Eridonian. We'll see if I can find something else.
Yeah. Connor, if you haven't already picked another one, you might want to consider fire building. If you're a woodsman and it's raining and you need to build a fire with wet stuff, that might be super useful.
I was going to pick that up, but
well,
if you want to, Connor, if you got nothing else to spend, then it's cool. I got you.
Yeah. I was thinking that or rope use.
Oh, you've already got it.
I got one of those too, so
And I was just like,
I'm on board for the useful person. I got you.
Nice.
Oh, I was gonna say
That's what I'm going for.
You want to do
sorry?
healing?
Yeah, would healing be fine?
Yeah, healing does have an anatomy prerequisite, so it'll be you'll need to take anatomy, which is 1 slot, and then healing, which is 2 slots. So that'll be all 3 of your slots, and
That'd
you won't
be
get
crazy.
either of those any of those other languages.
Fuck healing.
Yeah,
We don't need it.
you'll have Cure Light Wounds as a spell anyway.
Yeah.
So
Oh, are we really
We're not
for
keeping-
Tippos?
yeah, we're not going to be using the new test cleric system. It needs more work before I bring it into another campaign.
So we're not using the 2 Neo Cleric?
No, we're going to use standard cleric.
Okay.
Oh, at least standard cleric spells, but we'll still be using the other 2 Neil stuffs from the cleric,
cool.
if that makes sense.
So I'll still have like the blessings and stuff, right? Like
no. We're gonna get rid of the blessings. We're gonna give you a fat spell list, which I'm going to PM you in Discord. Mr. Mouton. Here is our classic 2E spell list. These are all the first, second, all the spells, and you get to pick spells from the first spell slot
Oh
columns.
joy.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah,
The
there
wonderful thing is, as you're a cleric, you know all of the first level spells, and you just can pick which ones you want to memorize on which days.
For that day.
Yeah. So you don't have to worry about, did I learn this spell? Did I learn that spell? You get to pick whatever you want.
nice.
So is it really more flavor text which kind of cleric he is?
No, they have completely different spell lists.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Just,
Awesome.
so you just knowledge bomb on Mouton right here. You just dropped a whole bunch of information.
Yep.
Time to read.
Oh, yeah. You don't have to pick your spells today. You can read them another day.
Definitely will. I'm gonna grab religion as well.
Ah. Classic.
And I'll probably just throw in another I'll look a little bit more.
Okay.
You can sit on it, right? You could technically save it for something else later, Neil. Yeah.
Nope. You start with them now, or you don't, or they're gone. Yep. And you don't have to spend all of your non-weapon proficiencies. There's no requirement. Looks like
Yep.
Tom got running, tumbling, swimming, and jumping. Oh, fantastic! The athlete of the party.
I was either going to do that, or I was going to try to go like a little bit more surprising by taking out the swimming and the jumping, and then maybe just being literate, which seems out of the ordinary for a backstreet brawler. But then I realized that having somebody that would know how to swim might be important. So
I think having running, swimming, jumping, tumbling are all going to be fantastic skills that the party will need from time to time, and it's going to be great to have somebody that's got them.
Sure.
I think you've done good here.
Yeah.
And so, you've
put all mine
already
in.
filled out that shit.
guess.
Do any of them have modifiers? Right. So running has a -6 base. Whoops, not -9. I can't type. Does tumbling have tumbling? It has no modifier. Swimming has no modifier, and jumping has no modifier. Beautiful. So you look good. Connor looks good.
And I think I'm gonna
Ebner.
grab sorry.
No, yeah.
Arcanology?
Arcanology. So that will cost you 2 slots because priests don't normally have access to it.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it cost me 3 slots actually. so I'm
Oh.
not going to grab it, actually.
Okay. No, it should cost you 2 slots.
Oh, really? On the thing, I think it says -3?
-3 is the modifier that you start with.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I'll just grab the other language, halfling.
Fantastic. All right, so Lucas, you're going with literacy, religion, omen reading, and 2 languages, right?
Yep.
Literacy, omen reading, religion, and 2.
Eridonian and halfling.
Right. Perfect.
You know what? This is perfect then.
Is this right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't you get 6? Oh, is omen reading 2?
Omen reading is 2.
Okay, there we go. That's where it's... Okay, perfect. Great. And Will, looks like it's just up to you. What are you getting here, Will?
We're getting rope use, we're getting swimming, and what was the other one, Connor? We were talking about earlier. I said I would get. It was rope use, and there's another one.
Fire building?
Fire building. That's correct.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So I got rope use and fire building for sir.
Okay. Excellent.
So rope use, I think, is just a 1. Fire building is just a 1. So that leaves me with 5 left. Literacy is 2. We'll take one of those 2 because it seems like everyone needs to be literate in this party. So let's roll with it.
You will be
100.
the only there will only be 2 literate people here if you pick it.
There'll be 3, right? There'll be Mouton. There'll be.
Oh no, I didn't pick that.
I
I
did
didn't
not
pick
pick
literacy.
it?
Yeah, sorry.
I'm sorry.
I was thinking about doing that, but no, I didn't. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'll back up here.
So
then.
you have like 7 slots though, Will. You got a crap ton of things that you could learn.
Right, but I've only got 5 left after rope use and fire building. And as a warrior, we're taking basically 2 apiece. So we're basically down to 2 to 3 max more things we can pick, right?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of single slot things you could get. If you want,
I picked
since you're the
swimming if
last
that makes
one.
it any easier. I picked swimming, so I don't know if
You
you're
know what?
thinking
We're
about
going to take
dropping
instead
something.
of literacy, we're going to take cooking because we're going
Ah.
to make the good food.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Because everyone needs the good food. And then what else we have? That leaves us with 4 left. And we'll take swimming because we're a quality individual. We know how to swim.
Well-rounded.
Absolutely. So that leaves us with 4 left, I believe. What else are we going to do, guys? What else do we need? As somebody who lives in the forest and chop trees, what else can we pull from here?
Rope
So
use,
can I
cooking,
pull,
fire building.
We've got fire building. Can I pull like something to pull, like little mushrooms or something else for a wizard shop? Can we? I guess it'd be an herbology, or it'd just be herblore. But
That would be herbalism. There's probably
Right.
not a wizard shop around, but if you want to have herbalism, that might make sense as like a semi-healing stat. Because you want
Yeah,
that
I think
halfway
it's
healing
more-
proficiency.
what I was thinking of was the wizard shop needs those rare items sometimes. They have to spread out their tendrils to get people to go out in the woods to find what they need, right? So every now and again, I need to know what I'm looking for, but maybe that's too far.
Maybe, but it's unlikely there's any wizard shops around. You're from an impoverished area.
Too far,
All the
too
smart
far.
wizards have already left town.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
So maybe
I've-
gaming then. We'll probably play some games.
Gaming? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's great. Pro gamer over
Some
here.
Games. Absolutely, I'm a very big programmer for sure.
Love it.
We'll pick those in a minute. Lumberjacking, I should definitely have.
Oh, yeah, you definitely need lumberjacking. I can't believe I didn't think of that to begin with.
That's why we work together, Neil. That's why we're a good team. What else we got here?
I sorted the list by all the fighter proficiencies at the top and all the non-fighters at the bottom, just so,
So I
it'll be
got
easier.
2 left.
Right, lumberjacking goes here. Lumberjacking. Perfect.
What else does somebody do who lives on the edge of the forest all the time with grandma? What do you do for fun? Or what happens out there?
You might want fishing or something to like get some food when you can't make any money.
You know, that's a good call. Fishing's probably a good one. Then we need one more.
Did you already get survival? Is that? I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that
fishing and
seems obvious.
survival. Perfect.
but-
No, that's.
Okay.
Survival is a
I wasn't-
2-slot proficiency.
Oh, is it?
Oh, damn. I'm sorry.
No, then let's just do survival over fishing. That's
Okay.
Torturing.
What comes in a survival?
It's like an
a-
intelligence.
Let's see. This proficiency must be applied to a specific environment, a specific type of terrain and weather factors. They typically include Arctic or woodland or desert or plains or tropical, something like that. Mountains are usually a separate type, or not usually a separate type, because your mountains could be tropical or wooded or snow-covered or whatever. Character has basic survival knowledge of that type of terrain, and additional proficiency slots can add more terrain types. A character skilled in survival has the basic knowledge of hazards he might face in that land. He understands the effects of weather and knows the proper steps to lessen the risk of exposure. He knows the methods to locate or gather drinkable water. He knows how to find basic, not necessarily appetizing food where none is apparent. Mechanically, it means you can spend, you can make a proficiency check, which will take you 1d6 hours to find water when no water can be found. Or 2d6 turns. Each turn is 10 minutes. So 20 minutes to 2 hours to find food for one person. This is going to be foraging. And if you're trying to like forage for everybody, then you can, there's some optional rules there, but basically you can find food or water in emergency situations, and you understand the perils inherent to the area. Yeah, if you're a woodcutter.
I take rope use, cooking, fire building, gaming, lumberjacking, and survival, I feel like that's pretty straightforward. I feel like that's pretty good. I need to adjust my modifiers and stuff, but I think that's right. I think that seems good.
So survival, you will be doing woodland survival then as a woodsman.
Yeah, for sure. Or whatever, wherever you want to start us off, whatever my natural surroundings is there.
Yeah, your natural surroundings is going to be woodlands, and that is based on int with no modifier. Okay, excellent. So we've got our stats, we've got our classes, we've got our saving throws, we've got our non-weapon and our weapon proficiencies. I think the last big thing is general gear, and it looks like Connor is already ahead of the game on this one.
Ooh.
So that first document that I linked you in chat is our gear document.
Got it.
Why don't we go and take another break before we do the gear, because all of this spreadsheeting is tedious as fuck. So we'll see you guys in 5 to 10 minutes for some gear. See you guys on the other side of our break. Bye-bye. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to more Desperate Measures character creation. We've done our stats, we've done our combat modifiers, we've done our weapons and our non-weapon proficiencies. It's time to buy some gear. And before we buy our gear, let's talk a little bit about the initial premise of this campaign. Because it will change over time as you guys get involved with things. I'm sure you'll end up taking your own direction and all sorts of fun stuff. So let's take a look at the world map again, back in Roll20. We're gonna see, where are we here? We're gonna see that you guys start in this region, the Kingdom of Mystria, and desperate times call for desperate measures. There's not a lot of shit going around. You're all broken poor, and the neighboring kingdom of Eridon has recently been overrun by demons and basically crushed into the ground and ruined. People have been coming from your Kingdom of Mystria to this, tattered kingdom, looting it for a while now. And you guys are hopping on that bandwagon. There are villages that are already ruined that you might be able to find some more loot in. There are random peasants over there that can be accosted and have their stuff stolen. And most importantly, and probably what you're going to be focusing on a lot, is all the small little monsters all over the place now have free run of anything, and all of their loot is just sitting in their caves unmolested by the typical heroes who block that stuff. So there are going to be lots of monster stuff all throughout this hill line right here, as well as, in all these other areas where you guys can go and grab some easy money. There's just, a dozen kobolds in the way, or some goblins, or an ogre, or whatever. So you guys are going to be probably coming out of Tassel. Tassel over here, let's get the map on that spot, is this ruined town. Can you guys all see where I'm pointing with my thingamajobber? Right. This is a ruined town. Demons destroyed it a while ago. Yeah, that's the guy. And that's where you're probably going to be starting from. This waterway right here is the Grand Canal. It is this massive canal that runs all the way north to the ocean and basically splits the continent in half, with maybe like a 5-mile break of land at the very bottom. This canal, it really just appeared when the world was split open 1,500 years ago. So these cliffs on either side are massive because this is like the middle of the continent that got split open. So this canal has cliffs of 100 to 300 feet high, depending on where you are in the canal, which means that you can't rightly just park a ship anywhere and climb up. So Tassel is a ruined city that used to have, I guess it still does have, this staircase that goes down to the base of the canal for ships to come up and down. And that's where you guys will be having your base of operations. There's an NPC I'll introduce you to a little bit later who's kind of running a supply shop, or really a supply camp, out of this burned out town. These two towns up here, which would be more convenient because they're closer to where you want to be and further from danger, are still occupied. So you can't. So this is going to be our base of operations.
Okay, so they still have Eridon people there.
There's still Eridonians in Long-Casted Kneecap, unfortunately, at least for now. You might get rid of them later, who knows. So we'll be starting in the ruins of Tassel. That's where we're going to be hanging out.
So the people in Vistria aren't going to... Do they mess with Tassel often, or no?
I mean, there's no one left in Tassel now, so...
Okay.
It's a ghost town. It's just you guys, the person who's supplying this resupply station, and other like-minded... I don't know what they're to call you, prospectors or adventurers or looters or traders or trappers.
I think that's a good word.
Yeah,
That's a very professional, very diplomatic word. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're not looters or grave robbers. You're prospectors.
Prospectors.
I like that.
Actually, we're prospecting.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a preferred word.
It's got some gold rush connotations in there. Some old salty people moving west to make their riches. I like it.
Real salt to the earth kind of people.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So that means you're going to be doing traveling to these other regions over here, which are all going to be a couple days away. You're going to need a backpack at the least to carry your ship, the weapons and armor that you need, and then whatever other little bits of things you might want along the way. And what you might want and what you might be able to get are going to be a little bit different. So I should have linked you all to a big fat economics document to continue our spreadsheets and dragons. The two tabs we're going to be most looking at right now are the weapons tab and the first tab, which is the gear tab. Tabs that can be found at the bottom. And it should be pretty straightforward. The weapons tab will correspond to entries on your weapons document in your combat page. And the gear tab will have everything that you need for everything else. We're not going to worry about the cost, more or less. You can just get whatever you want, and I might veto some things here or there. Anything that requires like a lot of skill or precision is probably not going to be allowed. So like handcuffs or manacles are probably too expensive and difficult to make for you guys to get your hands on. But you could get rope instead, you know. Magnifying glasses are definitely going to be out. Locks are going to be out. Maybe like a crappy mirror could be acceptable. Yeah. So write some shit down, add the weight, and decide when you have enough stuff. And I'm just going to be poking at your pages and digging around. Let's get some different music.
Maybe some happy music.
I can get us some happy music. How about this?
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
All right.
And we're putting this in our gear tab?
In your gear tab, make sure that your pack tab has a backpack on it, or a haversack, or however you want to carry your shit.
So if I wanted to do my axe with the backside of being a hammer, what do you want me to call that as in the weapons?
A wood axe.
Because I feel like a battle or a wood axe.
Yeah.
Just call it a wood axe for sure.
It's in the weapon area. It should be axe, wood.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
So even on the backside, so what do you want me to call the backside of that axe? Just
bludgeoning.
hammer?
Yeah, it's still your axe. It's fine. You can just leave it as one entry, and then you can tell me ahead of time if you want to slash or you want to bash with it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I'll put it in 2 slots in my weapon just so I know the difference too.
Okay.
So they're all different.
See, you guys, the short spear isn't OP. It weighs 1 more than the sword.
I think it's
The 2d4 spear, man. It's OP. That's all I'm saying.
So when we add a pack or a backpack, does that go on the in-pack tab or the on us tab?
You're gonna want to put it
Like,
on the
just
pack
type-
tab.
Okay,
you're gonna
okay.
notice in your weights just above that, there's like a bag with a check mark next to it. If you uncheck that mark, it doesn't count your backpack weight or whatever's in the in-pack weight. So you want to put the backpack in there, so when you uncheck it, you're not carrying your backpack's weight as well.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. And you put the number on the left and the weight on the right, and then it totals everything up. You can ignore the cost columns if you want, since you won't be doing a lot of reselling of your own gear. But when you pick up like 10 gems, you might want to write down what the gems are worth, or
absolutely.
if there's something of
gotcha.
value that you care about, you know.
Okay.
Cool.
So I have an Aspis shield, I'm guessing?
Yeah, you're definitely gonna have an Aspis shield.
Got it.
It's nice and heavy, but it gives you an AC bonus of 2, which we care about deeply.
Would it have a different weight since I'm small, or are we not doing that?
No, we're not gonna bother with that.
Got it.
It gets messy, because if we're gonna bother with that, then we shouldn't allow halflings to have 18 strength, but all of their gear should weigh less, and then we have to adjust the damage
It
modifier.
just gets weird.
It's too much of a pain in the ass.
Well, I mean, but then it comes down to, is he really the smallest halfling of his group? I mean, what is a 15 strength halfling versus a 15 strength man?
And then you gotta have like
right?
gear tabs for halflings and dwarves and gnomes and humans. Yeah,
I would think Tui would have it, honestly.
there might be a book somewhere that has that stuff.
Maybe.
Connor, is your character going with the name Jebediah?
Yep. Jeb.
Jeb. All right.
Yep. I think it's very fitting. You know, backwoods man.
Where can we? Where do we put our name in here? Oh, I see. Oh, okay, I gotcha. I see the edit thing. I was looking for the name field. and
It's
I found it,
also
so-
in the basic area. It's called character.
Oh, perfect. Oh, there it is. Duh. Okay, thanks.
No
Sorry.
worries. So, what sort of shit are you guys buying?
I got an axe and a knife.
I got a backpack so far.
Nice. Excellent.
Same here. Backpack.
Oh, my book?
Ooh, yes.
What should that be?
Great
Probably-
question. Let's call it a
5
50-page book that weighs 2 pounds, or a 100-page book that weighs 4 pounds. Because it's not like fancy modern paper that's nice and thin. This is probably made actually out of vellum, like a dried animal hide, so it's going to be kind of thick and kind of heavy.
I'll just call it the Book of Tempos or whatever,
Sure.
and I'll make it 4 pounds.
Okay, so it's a 100-page book.
100 page book.
Yeah, if you want to put the cost down, the cost is 5,500. But that is
The abridged
doesn't
version.
even matter.
I'm missing the
Clubs are
belt.
free. Nice.
You're missing a belt?
Yeah, I'm saying looking in the gear tab, am I just missing a belt?
There's a
Am I just-
clothing tab as well.
Is it
usually-
in the clothing? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's probably in the
Ah,
clothing.
that's what it is. Gotcha.
Yeah, usually
You're right.
usually we just say you have 5 pounds of clothes that you carry, and that covers all your shit. If you want to like piecemeal it out, you can totally piecemeal it out, but sometimes that's a pain in the ass. Depends on how much effort you want to put into your character.
Neil's sounded to be a pain in the ass character, so we're doing it all.
So if we're saying we have clothes, does that like go?
You're gonna want to put
your
your because those are the clothes you're wearing, right?
Naked, yeah, I gotcha.
You could be the naked man running around. It wouldn't be the first
Nah.
time.
Not, my guy's crazy. He's not that crazy.
Okay.
All right, let's do that.
Yeah.
Wait, where are the clothes at? I'm looking for them under gear. Would they be under
No, there's
armor?
a separate clothing tab.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
found it.
Okay.
This document actually has all sorts of useful stuff in it. If you want to figure out like how much someone might make in a year, so that you want to know how much to bribe them, there's a net income
Ooh.
tab for that sort of stuff. There's
Oh,
a
fantastic.
black market tab, although that is questionable. Those prices aren't exact. They fluctuate all the time, depending on so many things. And there's a tab for animals. There's a tab for like standard in costs. There's a tab for the gear your animals might have. There's a services tab for like the sort of things that you could hire people for that you might need frequently. Bunch of shit.
I'm just gonna wear a robe.
Oh, apparently I have 200 backpacks. Let's not do that.
Holy
Damn.
shit.
Let's calm down.
You are the backpack man.
I got backpacks for everybody. I'm like, oh shit, no.
Backpacks and backpacks and backpacks, my friend.
Some within others. Some backpacks, you open them up, you have to have more backpacks. Like, shit. This guy's insane. All right.
Ooh, looks like Jebediah has finished his gear.
Yep.
Clothes, dagger, spear. I don't know why you put that ultra in front of it. That's ridiculous.
Because it's an ultra spear.
Quiver,
The truth.
club, leather chest plate. Okay. And then you've got a pack with a bedroll, tinderbox, mess kit, crowbar, pound of chalk,
Wait.
2 blankets, some hammer, some rope, and the backpack itself. Nice. Fantastic. So you have 65 pounds of gear out of 70-pound base encumbrance. Very nice. Very nice.
I'm allowed to have like quill paper and an ink, right? You're
Yeah.
not gonna.
That's fine.
Okay.
Damn, you're gonna give him that ink like that? I can't believe it. It's unbelievable.
Where the
Ink
fuck
is
the
expensive. It always has been.
Oh, I don't know why my backpack total keeps going to 200.
That's total cost.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, that makes
Yeah,
sense. I
you-
was like, why do I have 200 backpacks? I'm not that. Yeah, I got it.
Yep. 200 backpacks.
hmm
That makes sense.
And paper doesn't cost anything, right?
We're not going to worry about costs
No way.
right now. You can have like, maybe another small book that you use to tear pages out and write on.
Okay.
Something
I
like
just put
that.
a 20 paper. Is that fine for weight?
Sure. Let me just take a quick look-see at our stuff. For our purposes, let's call it, instead of paper, we're going to call it parchment.
Sure.
Which slight word change to denote that it's lower quality stuff. Parchment. And our parchment is negligible in weight. Perfect.
Let's see, what else is here?
And if there is something that you want that you can't find on that sheet, just say so. That sheet gets added to it all the time. It gets stuff added to it all the time.
You don't think I
get
would
some,
have
wood wedges?
Some what?
Wood wedges for splitting wood. So you put them in the top and hit the top of them to like throw the wedge through the wood so it splits open.
Yeah, you can get. There's a chisel, right? Is it a wood chisel? Is it a wood wedge?
There's no chisels at all, and there's no wedges.
Cool. Let us add a woodcutter's. What do we call it? Woodcutter's wedge.
Wedge? You could add wedges.
Yeah.
Just metal wedges. That's really all they are. Or metal or non-metal.
Let's see. You're gonna want. Well, they're gonna need to be metal to be splitting things. I guess you could make them out of stone, but you don't want them to break when you hit them too hard. So.
It's under stone. I mean.
What is it? A pound of metal? Yeah, a pound of metal seems about right.
Yeah, for sure.
Probably
So,
2.
2 pounds for a wedge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 1 to 2 pounds.
So then that's going to cost, supplies are going to be 100 copper to make in metal volume, and then probably some shaping costs. So we'll call it a 200 copper cost for woodcutter's wedge.
Cool. Cool.
Right.
Do you think I would start with some sort of like brass knuckles or something like that, or would that
Definitely.
be something that I would? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And that should be on your character probably, because you're going to want them in your pocket somewhere you can put them on
Sure.
fast.
Because I don't quite see. Is there anything like that in the weapons tab right now? That's the only reason why I was asking. Yeah. I see.
No, there is not in the weapons tab. I will
Okay.
add them right now though, because we should
Okay.
have them.
Okay.
This is going to be brass knuckles. Cost
Cool.
is gonna be maybe they're gonna be expensive because they're hard to make, but they don't have a lot of materials. Weight is gonna be a pound.
Okay.
You're gonna want 2 because you're gonna have 2 hands.
Right.
So you're gonna use
Got that.
Type is bludgeoning. Speed is 3. Damage is 1d. It's just a d4. Reach is 1. We don't need to worry about any of the other things. Perfect. And brass knuckles are gonna be in red.
I'm not seeing holy water under the components tab.
Did anyone grab any bags?
You're right. There's no holy water. Let's fix that.
Some of that holy juice.
Bags isn't just normal
Yeah,
pouch
like
size bags.
pouch size or big bags. Or does anyone have any extra bags? Or are we all just floating light on those?
It might be nice to have spare bags. Otherwise, you're going to be like, I put it in my bag. And you're like, oh, I've got to dump this thing in my backpack with all my other shit.
Right.
Yeah, I'm trying to think extra bags so we can piecemeal this shit out. All right, I'm gonna add some extra bags. I got it.
Okay. I'll have a few too.
You want to burlap? Because that's a big ass bag.
Burlap
Oh,
sack.
they're not that bad. Okay.
Burlap sack.
Hell yeah, brother. Burplack? That's what Neil has here.
Oh, is
Burplack.
it something misspelled?
Burplack?
Where is it misspelled? What tab are we looking in?
We're looking at the economics. It's a burplack sack.
In the gear tab?
Yeah, unless that's how you spell burlap.
Burp it.
I could be wrong.
Burp lap. Yeah, that's it.
Hold on, I gotta find the tab. I've copied this over to you so I can actually edit the
Here we go.
document.
Burlap. There we go. Thank you. Why is holy water not on this list?
silk. Scroll sewing kit.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I need it for a holy component for. I don't remember what it was. Something. Oh, for bless.
Hmm.
Can he not bless the water himself as a cleric? Does that not work that way?
Holy water takes 3 clerics to make. 1 cleric casts create water, 1 cleric casts purify water, 1 cleric casts bless, and they cast them all at the same time to create holy water. So it's a bit of a process.
Just a bit.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I don't know why it's not listed. It's definitely a important component.
Is there any way to get a bottle besides glass, Neil? Can I bottle something some other way?
You could probably get ceramic bottles if you'd like.
I think you could.
So ceramic bottles. So pots, I guess, is the better way to look at that, right?
Yep.
Sure.
Or a shitty wooden flask.
Or you could use a gourd or a water skin.
Yeah, gourd.
A water skin, that's probably a good way to go.
The grappling hook too much at this point?
No, that seems like something that would be fine. But let's say
Okay,
1
cool.
grappling hook for the whole party.
Okay, gotcha. I'll get that.
Did you see that that video of all those ladders tied together for that guy in India? I forget who linked it. Oh man, it was one of the European dudes. The dude was up maybe 150, 160 feet in the air with ladders tied together going up the side of the building.
Oh man, that sounds insane.
I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I mean, that's quite accurate to what he was doing. He was just hanging out on the side of the building. There was a rope holding it at the top as well, but it's kind of man, at that point, I don't know. I don't know, man.
Huh. Well,
I feel like it was NECA who linked it. He's probably asleep right now, though. It's his bedtime. It's probably super late for those European fellows.
And
for
I
scheduling,
can
it's
sell one
going
of
to
my
be
livers for 7,500 or 75,000 copper.
a liver? What?
Yeah, you can sell one of your livers. The one of
Oh,
the
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Totally.
I'm thinking kidneys.
Yeah, you can totally sell. Also, there's no surgery. You can take the liver out and then die. Even if it was a kidney, there's no patching you back up.
Well, it depends. Sounds like you have shitty clerics. Is what I'm hearing.
rations.
All right, we will. There's gotta be. Let me start searching
We
through
should
some
get some torches.
books for that holy water cost for you, because it's eluding me.
Yeah, I mean it's confusing.
It should be somewhere. It must have just missed stuff. Players options, spells, and magic.
Oh god, my AC is so garbage too, though. Right now.
Is it just 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems right.
So we're not doing any leather armor. We're just gonna say hell no there.
Connor will have to make you some leather armor as we go along.
All right, so we're starting at 0. Or at
Yep,
10.
you're starting with shit for armor.
That's
Fantastic.
fine. That's
Should've got a
fantastic.
shield.
And
You have a spear, dude. You'll be fine.
I'll tell you this right now.
We got an axe.
I got 7 intelligence. It's gonna be hard to make this shit.
Perfect.
Oh, I messed up.
We're gonna have a lot of real fucked up armor for a while. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's all. Doesn't even fit.
The good thing is, at least after he does it well one time, we can start there as our base.
Right. Just trace it. Yeah, trace the good one, and then just make copies out of it.
Absolutely. Perfect.
I don't even know if that's how it works, but
That's 100%.
That's fine.
just run with it.
Don't ask too many questions.
No, it's fine, Neil. We'll just trace over the dwarf. It's fine.
That's
It'll fit
fine.
him.
It'll fit him. Absolutely. Perfect.
Yeah, you'll make it for us, and then, just go a size too small, and we'll just hand it down, yeah.
What else would I have? I guess I probably would have some rope.
Oh, there's hammers in here, huh?
Well, if you're a dwarf, as long as you have a shovel, you're fine.
Yeah.
Yep. Just dig yourself a hole. Instant foxhole.
Oh yeah, I do want a
Good.
shovel proficiency
And now you're hidden.
You don't need a proficiency to use a shovel.
because I'm a dwarf. Already proficient.
You can just use a shovel. That's not a particularly high skill threshold.
But can he proficiently use the shovel? Can he show up his neighbors when he's using a shovel?
I don't know if there is much proficiency to be had with a shovel. Someone who has shoveled every day for 5 years and someone who shovels for an afternoon, there's probably
Ever
some
seen
difference.
holes?
But like,
Probably a lot of difference.
Well, have you ever watched
Yeah.
a child try to shovel and like an adult? Because I feel like that's the difference, right? Like a
Ever
child
seen-
throws like the dirt on top of his face as he tries to go up, like huge failure. An adult knows where to put the dirt,
yeah, but
Proficient, unproficient.
when we say a huge difference, I'm imagining the efficiency between them is going to be pretty minor. Like if they were in the same level of fitness, the like efficiency gain for having used a shovel a lot might be 10 or 20%. But like the difference between picking up and playing with a sword for a couple days versus a sword fighter who's been using a sword for 10 years is going to be more like 700%. So it's not worth noting the proficiency of a shovel. It's too minor to have a difference.
Basically, what it would, like you said, efficiency, but it'd be how much can you get out for how tired you get.
Right, which is going to also be a factor of your physical fitness more so than your... I mean, certainly proper
But also
technique
just
and knowing
to
how
use
much...
the shovel to like move the dirt efficiently. and whatnot.
Certainly, I'm not saying there's no skill involved with shoveling. But I'm
not enough
saying...
for proficiency.
Yeah, I'm saying like it's not... Why bother?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Have you ever talked to a dwarf? I feel like they'd feel differently.
What's with all these stereotypes about dwarves and shovels?
Yeah, I don't get it. What are you guys' issues with dwarves?
Yeah. All right, let's take a look here. Jebediah looks good, I think. Yep. Ebner, still working on his character sheet. You wanted to grab some holy water. I've added it into this spell stuff now under water comma holy. That's going to be per casting, but I guess we're not worrying about cost right now, so don't just put down how many castings you might carry. We'll say each casting is a quarter of a pound of water that you want to splash about. How much is a gallon? Is 8 pounds. So how much is, let's say, weight of 1 ounce of water is gonna be 0.065. So we'll say it's like 1.5 ounces. We'll say it's 0.1 pound per casting.
So can I just have a pound of water?
You can totally have a pound of water, but let's do it as like 10.1.
So yeah, 10 casts.
Yeah.
Okay,
Something
got it.
like the way that I put it in there, and that way, as you cast Bless, you can drop the holy water down to 9, and then
Down
8,
to
and then
9,
got
yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
What can be named?
Okay.
I like that name. So no last names, right? Just first
No
names?
last names. Yep.
And are
You
we
guys
going to be neutral,
dirty peasants.
or I guess we're not lawful in any category, correct?
You can decide how you want to play out alignment. I'm just gonna see who you actually are rather than who you think you're going to be, because the alignment players set for themselves before they play their character is very different than the alignment they
Different how
actually
they-
play. So I don't care how you self-identify. You can self-identify as lawful good or chaotic evil, but we'll see who you really are.
I gotcha.
How do you spell Eridonian? Just out of curiosity.
Eridonan. I don't know. Make it up, dude.
Perfect. Sounds exactly how I did it. It's exactly how I wanted to know. As long as it didn't start with an A.
No. Starts with an E.
Perfect. We're on board. It's not like what I sent to a whole bunch of people before this. It's fine. It'll be good. So I can just, so if I have languages and I have like an extra 3 languages, I have to pick them all now, or can I not sit on those to learn later?
Yes, pick them all now.
Okay.
Okay, I think I've got as much gear as I can think of that I would need. I think.
All right, let's take a look at what you got. Backpack, a club, dry rations, thin rope, a belt, a couple belt pouches, a whistle, a compass, a grappling hook, some pitch, a water skin, lamp oil, and a blanket. That will do. The only other thing you might need is a bedroll, something soft to sleep on.
Sure. Yeah, that's important. Yeah.
And I can't leave a language for later to learn. I can't leave that for like an opening. I have to pick it.
Well, what do you mean what do you mean by get a language?
So like later, like let's say I run into some other people I want to learn their language, so then I don't have any open slots. Can I learn their language, or am I just totally screwed?
You can absolutely learn their language, but it's gonna be like like Malachi learned a language in a couple months.
It took him a month, but it doesn't count against his language slots. I guess would be my.
I guess I'm not really sure what are you getting at here?
So I've got 4 language slots. And I've got 3 learned right now. If I wanted to save the one to learn a later language.
I see. I see what you're saying. So 4 is the max number of languages that you can learn in your life. That's as many as you can possibly know. You're gonna start with Drakissian. If you want to learn, Mystrian. If you want to learn any of the other ones, it's gonna take one of your non-weapon proficiencies. It's gonna take, a skill slot. And you've spent all your non-weapon proficiencies on other things.
So even though my int gives me extra languages, I still don't get to learn those languages.
You can spend your so you get 4 non-weapon proficiencies for the 4 languages that you have, and you chose to spend them on things other than languages, so you don't get the languages. Yeah.
Perfect. Fantastic. I'm all on board.
Cool.
We're good. I'm Gucci. We're good to go.
All right, let's take a look at Will's gear. Backpack, tinderbox, a wood saw. How big of a wood saw are we talking?
Whatever's on your economics guide.
Okay, so that's like a one handheld saw, not like a 2-person saw.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. Gaming dice, burlap sack, small bag, 2 torches, I believe that is.
Yeah, you can fix that language.
Rope with 3 C's.
That's the thick rope.
Excellent. That's like ship's rope. Very nice. Then you got a wood axe, 2 knives.
Is that ship's rope? I'm sorry. I thought that was normal rope. I thought it was just
thin rope is normal. Thick rope is like triple bound rope, like a big ship's rope.
Well, we might move that down to the thin rope.
That's gonna make more sense. Boots, breeches, and a common tunic. Lovely, lovely. We got Callum, who I think is Tom here.
Yes, that's me. Sorry.
Lovely. Clothes and brass knuckles. You carry your club in your backpack? Or on the side of it or something?
Oh, actually, I didn't think about that because I figured I had my brass knuckles on. I don't know how that, like, if I carry I don't know if what has to be on me has to be in my hand if it's a club, or can it be on my hip?
It could be on your hip. Anything that's like, if you drop your bag, we just want to have like what's not on your person.
Gotcha. Perfect. Okay. That makes sense. I'll move the club to my person if that.
Sure.
That works.
That's perfect.
Okay.
And this would mean you do carry a club with you around. Sweet.
With me. Yeah.
Fantastic.
On the outside. Yeah.
And Ebner, shield, spear, and robe on your person. Everything else in your backpack, which has got a book, some parchment, a quill, some ink, a shovel, and some holy water. Nice. Are there any other spell components you're gonna need?
I was looking through and I didn't really see any right now. At the top it says like components, but yeah, I don't really see any for level 1 at least.
Yeah, there are. So here's the problem. Not all of these spells are completely filled out. There are errors in this document.
Oh.
If you look at the top of the spell card, it'll have an S, an M, and a V, or some combination. M stands for material, and if the materials section is actually blank, you're going to want to scroll down to the bottom of the spell. Right, so like Analyze Balance, you may never need that spell. It's not a particularly useful spell, but it needs 4 iron
copper
coins.
Okay, I see what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
So it has an M, like, check it out.
Check it out.
And then I have a holy symbol. Can that just be my book, or does it need to be something else?
It'll be a separate thing, and I'm going to take you to a page to show you what your holy symbol looks like, and then you can tell me how you want to have it depicted. So we're going to open image in a new tab. This right here, which I'm linking you as I'm PMing you, is the list of gods and what their holy symbols look like. So Tempos, your boy over here, he's got this blue and black triangles that make an hourglass with the blue on the top and the black on the bottom. So you can tell me, is that like a necklace that you carry? Is that inscribed into your shield, and your shield is your holy symbol?
I have it on a ring.
You could have something you can present that like can be
substantial.
Yeah, something that you could like wave in someone's face and be like, Tempest compels you! The might of Tempest compels you!
We'll do the shield.
Cool. Okay. Just so you know.
Yeah.
That means if you don't have your shields, you don't have your holy symbol.
I can't do my holy symbol. So.
Right.
Yep.
Cool.
Oh, cool.
Totally on board. That makes it way easier to carry around. And you don't have to worry about having extra gear flopping about.
So do you like attach? Do you like attach it to it, or is it like hung over the shield, or?
It's a great question.
It doesn't matter. I guess it doesn't.
I would just.
Was it in
I
the
was just
shield?
curious.
Kind of.
Yeah, it'd be
on the
cool. I
shield.
don't know. It just seems.
It's
cool.
like carved into the shield.
Yeah.
Yeah, carved
Love
into the
it.
shield, or like it is the shield. I don't know if I can.
Yeah, no, that's
That's cool.
Badass.
great. Okay. Is everybody done with their gear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
I think so.
All right. The last thing we're going to do now is we're going to go back to our weapons tab, and we're just going to fill out all of the crap in the weapons area.
We're level 1, yeah?
Yes.
Oh, I see. Oh, so for like number of attacks and 2 hit and things like that.
Yeah. For
Oh,
number of
shoot.
attacks, it's going to be 1 for all of you. So, Will, you're going with the name of Joka?
Yeah, we are.
Julio.
Going Joker.
All right. So, Callum, you are dual wielding brass knuckles. So, you're going to have
Yes.
a right hand with 1 attack value and a left hand with a separate one. So, I'm
Okay.
going to add in on your character sheet a brass knuckles left hand
Left
to
and
denote
right.
from your right. Because it's going to make
Okay.
a difference for what you're doing. And you're going to get
Perfect.
1.5 attacks with your right, 1 with your left. You will have, well, yeah, let's just do this all right here. So those 2 of you that are specialized, the weapons that you have specialization in, you get a +1 to hit and a +2 to damage.
Okay.
So for you, Callum, that means you're going to get a +1 with your main hand, and then a +1 and a -2 with your offhand, for a total of -1 with the off and +1 for the front. But you're
Okay.
still going to get your +2 here. You're going to do 1d4 with your knuckles. The range is melee. Type is bludgeoning, and speed is 3.
Okay. Thanks so much.
My pleasure. Club also does 1d4 damage.
I believe so. Yeah.
Lovely. It is melee, bludgeoning, speed 4. Fantastic. And you have no armor, so your weapon tab is all complete. Let's take a look at Ebner's weapon tab in the combat area. You get 1 attack with your spear, 1 attack with your dagger. I'm going to start off with not much. Your spear range is
Medium.
10, 20, 30 yards. 10, 20, 30. Type is piercing. Speed is 5. This type is piercing. Speed is 2. Alrighty. Jebediah. Looks like your shit is filled out. And Joka, you have 1.5 attacks with your wood axe. Because you get... So, for the specialists, and this is going to be more complicated for you, Callum, you have 1.5 attacks per round with the weapon you're specialized with. That means the first round you use it, you get 1 attack. The second round you use it, you get 2 attacks. If you use the weapon you're specialized with in the first round, do something else in the second round, and come back to the weapon in the third, you start back over at 1 again. Just so we're clear again.
So if I were to like, I don't know if it's possible, if I were to like switch to a club and then like throw the club away or something, like go back to my fist, then I would have to.
You start at the base of the tree again. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
And then one different thing for you, Jeb, is that when we say you're specialized, that's your right hand. You get 1 attack the first round with your right, and then 2 attacks the second round with your right. Your left hand, you always just get 1 extra attack with your left hand. Does that make sense?
I'm sorry, were you talking to me or?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Sorry, I said Joka.
Talking...
I said Joka, and I meant Callum.
I'm sorry.
Just an
Okay,
idiot.
my bad.
I'm just an idiot.
I was totally on board. It sounded beautiful to me.
I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm sorry. Can you say that one more time?
It's my fault. So you've got two hands, right? Your right hand makes 1 attack the first round, 2 attacks the second.
The second round.
1 attack the third, 2 the fourth. Your left hand makes 1 attack every round. So the first round you get 1 right, 1 left. Second round you get right, left, right. And then the third round it's right, left, and so forth and so on.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, cool. Understood.
Cool. All right, I think that is our character sheet section completed. Do we have any questions?
I don't think so.
Oh, I rolled my 1 on my health, and then we might have done some stat shenaniganery.
Oh.
Right? So now my HP adjust is +3, so it'd be an 8, correct? It'd be the minimum +3.
Your HP adjust is... You're at... As +2.
I'm at 5. Or my con is 17. Is that not a +3?
I see your con is 16 on your character sheet.
It should be 17. I'm sorry.
I see. If it is 17, then it is +3, and you should have 8 HP.
Okay, cool. Perfect.
Okay. And you... Right. So you dropped that down.
Right. We did a little bit of movement there.
This should be
at the end of the day.
17... But you're Callum, right? No,
Oh,
fuck.
shit. No, I'm sorry. I'm
you're
sorry.
Callum.
I just noticed that my thing changed. I was about to say something. My bad. Yeah,
No,
I'm Callum.
All right, Joka. I'm looking at the wrong character sheet again.
Yeah,
okay.
there you go. Perfect.
Here we go. 17 is +3, then 13 strength, 12 dex. All right, so you're gonna... That's perfect. So then your HP will be 8. Right. And you will have just the +1 to hit and 2 to damage from specialization.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
So it should be beautiful still.
Okay. So it's gonna look like Jebediah is our character with the highest AC in the party, with 15 AC from the front, which is fantastic. Everyone else, I believe, is sitting at 10, except for Ebner, who's got a shield, which provides 12 AC. Our HP will range from 5 to 12, Jebediah having the lowest HP, and Callum having the highest by quite a margin. All of our attacks are going to be right about the same. Maybe some of you have +1 to hit. I don't think anyone has a +2 to hit, except for Jebediah with a bow. Yep. Okay. I want to call our characters completed.
Excellent.
I think you're done.
Awesome. Excellent.
All right. I guess this was our character creation. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Anything that you want to discuss now during the character creation section?
What about like height and weight? Does that come into play as far as?
Absolutely. Those are going to be hugely important. You're all humans except for the dwarf here. So you can pick any human height and weight you want. Go for it. Your size is always going to be medium. Your handedness, you've already rolled for it, Callum, but everybody else should roll a d10. If you roll a 1, you're ambidextrous handed. If you roll a 2, you're left-handed. Everything else is right-handed.
Hell yeah, brother. That's what I
Wilbur
like to see.
is ambidextrous. Lucky bastard.
Yeah, brother.
Oh
Nice.
yeah.
And
That
everybody
never
else
happens.
is right-handed. So...
Fantastic.
Oh wait, can I roll for ambidextrous?
Oh, you didn't roll for it. Yeah, do that.
No.
I didn't see... I thought I saw Ebner roll. Nope, you're right-handed as well. Fantastic.
What should my size be? Small?
You are medium. Dwarves, despite their short size, are medium. And I'm going to give you a document. Acadia basic info. That has information about the height of a dwarf. Let me see. Dwarves, civilized people. You typically range from 48 to 52 inches. That's not right. 48 to 54 inches in height. So if you want to roll it, it's 2d4 plus 46 inches, and then we can convert to height in inches. And you weigh about 130 pounds.
53, 130.
All right, so 53 is going to be 4 feet 5 inches tall.
Destiny's height.
And you're about 130 pounds. If you want to move that up or down a little bit, that's fine. Yeah, it's approximately 130 pounds.
So does anyone else have to roll for their height, or do
You
we
can
just...
you can pick it, or you can roll it if you want to. The human distribution is 2d10 plus 59 inches usually.
What about my age?
Your age. You can randomize your age if you would like. Generally, I suggest people pick an age. Dwarves live like 2.5 times as long as a human. So pick your age in human years and then multiply it by 2.5, and that'll be your dwarven age. The important things to note are at certain ages, you get changes to your stats. You'll get penalties to your physical stats and bonuses to your mental stats. And that happens around 45 years for a human.
So I can be 50, and I'll be a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. Let's see. I think it's at 45. Yeah, 45 years, human years. You get penalties to your physical stats and bonuses to your mental. Then at 60 years old, you get even heavier penalties and bonuses. And at 90 years old, you get even more.
Yeah.
You get super old. So how old is everyone going to be?
22.
29.
22, 29, 100 and... No, not 130. 50. Callum, how old are you? 24?
24, yeah.
Beautiful. Okay. Everybody's level 1 with 0 experience points. Fantastic. All right. I think... Any other questions?
No.
Just poking through
No, I
some
think that's
sheets
it.
right now. I think we're good. Coolio. So, quiz time.
Perfect.
When does the first session start?
September 1st.
September what?
1st?
Try again. September 8th. Second week in September.
Okay, cool.
September 8th.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Works out.
Let's see.
Awesome.
Oh.
Next quiz. What is Connor's character's name?
Not Connor.
You're close. You're 3/4 of the way there.
Joe.
No,
that's
that's
Vincent.
mine.
it's
No,
close.
that's your. Oh shoot! There's two
That one.
J's.
Yeah. No. What was
Use,
his?
Oh,
use context clues. Okay, roll 20.
What's your character's name?
I looked at roll 20. Oh, Jeb. We got Jeb.
Jeb.
Jab. That's right.
That's Jeb. All right. What is Mr. Mouton, Lucas's character's name?
Ebner.
Wonderful. And what about Tom's character's name?
That is Callum.
Well done, everybody.
Nice.
We skip Will?
Well, he already called out that he was
Yeah, true.
Joker.
We were working
Yeah.
on the J names, so sorry.
Jeb, Joker, Callum.
Let's
Ebner.
see. Since you guys are all going to be from the same region, probably the same village, even. What is your village's name?
Tassel.
Tassel? No, that Tassel's where you're going to be operating. This is okay.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Sorry,
my
the
bad.
quiz is over. I should have said something. Quiz is
My bad,
over.
my bad.
Lore
Sorry.
time. What village are you from?
Shovelton.
Hole.
Shithole
it is.
Shovelton?
Yeah, I like that.
Why don't we just call it Latrine?
Yeah.
That's good.
Latrine. All right.
It's a French name. Yes,
Yeah, that
Latrine.
works.
The proud
That's a
hillbilly.
very French name.
It's actually really good. It's actually really good for the lore.
All
There's
right.
a lot of French that get spoken when you get latrine.
I'm
dude.
fine.
Absolutely, for
Fine
sure.
with that.
All right, you guys are from Latrine.
Latrine.
I need to write this down because I won't remember it in the morning. I'll think it was a joke. PCs are from
Damn it, they convinced me
Latrine.
of that again. God damn it.
All right. Does anybody is anyone married? Anyone's character married? Bunch of single men.
Only
Ebner's
family
married
member I got
to
is my grandma. That's all we got.
That's all you got. Okay.
Married to your grandma?
You know what? Yeah.
Take care of her,
I think.
man. Got me on my gold. She's why I'm still.
I think
being
my
a-
guy. I'm sorry, my bad.
No, you're good. Go ahead. Continue.
I think my guy probably would be married, but I guess if it were like a Facebook status thing, it would be like it's complicated, maybe something like that.
There's a reason
I don't
that
know.
you volunteered to leave and go get gold for the rest of the kingdom.
There's something going on there. Yeah.
Okay, so Callum is married. Wonderful. Do you have any
I like
kids?
it.
No.
Okay. Let's see. What else might we need to know about you guys? You're from a small village, so you should all know each other. Were any of you guys friends, or were you sort of just like familiar with each other from around town?
Do you guys all want to be like servants of Tempos or no? Like,
I think we would still know you from like the temple, right? Like you would all come around
Yeah.
at some point.
Yeah.
So I think we'd all still be familiar with you. So I don't know if we need
I think.
to go that
I
far.
think. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Like all of us being familiar with Mr. Mouton's character, with Ebner, might be
Definitely.
good. Yeah, but maybe not necessarily each other. I don't know if. What
Okay, so you
think.
guys know each other, but you're not like, Jeb
Probably
and
seen Joker.
Yeah.
Joka hang out all the time because you're both
Yeah.
sort of woodsmen.
Sort of. Probably
Alright.
not hang out all the but we're at least familiar with each other.
You're familiar with each
Yeah.
other. Okay.
I said
cool.
I'm probably more familiar with his character than any of the others, right? Like
Right, that
just
makes sense.
From
Okay.
working relationships, other than anything else. I mean, the guy who works and chops in the woods not too far from
Right.
me, right?
Okay, so what about personalities? Do you have any thoughts on personalities yet?
Smart but quiet, right? Like, more than willing to help out other people. But grandma offers up my services more than I probably like, right? Like people come over to hang out with her. She cooks some food. Like, oh yeah, he can help you out with that, and just like sends me off on my ways. Most of the time, that's all I got.
Grandma, I'm 29. I don't need you to find any jobs for me.
Absolutely. But you know what? But grandma, man, she's just meet some people and just you need to go talk to them and go do. And it's like, God, all right, that's fine. I'll go do it.
Oh,
So I
I
feel
met
like
some
she's
Bias
sincere
boys
about
from
a lot.
over in Drekis, and they said they needed some help. I think you'd be great.
I told him we'd go with them. I thought it'd be a great thing for you. You've already offered the services before you even know half
Right.
the time. It's like,
Right.
okay, thanks, grandma. Appreciate it.
Okay.
I feel like that's what she does for me. She's a great help. And depends on how you look at that.
Jeb, you are the woodsman. I mean, you're one of the woodsmen here, but you're the more of the ranger type. You don't have a grandma to go home to. Are you a bit of a loner?
Oh, I'd say so. Every now and then. I don't know how long I can keep that up. I might end up just annoying my own self with it. But definitely a bit of a loner. Not sort of out of like, I don't like people, just like.
Do you live a? Yeah, that's just your lifestyle.
How it do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not just like people. What about you, Callum? What else? Not Callum. Ebner.
Ebner.
There we go. Ebner.
I'm not too sure yet. I got to think of how I want to like play him.
Okay.
I'll get back to you on that.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that's all I have that I need right now. I will continue to write up some notes, and when we start on the 8th of September, we will give you some more lore drops, and you guys will go on your first adventure to make some money.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Awesome.
There is a lot of lore for this world already in place. None of it you really need to know. I'll tell you everything that you need to know, but any of it that you pick up might be informative or useful. I will try to tell you things as you need to know them. Like, let's say you get somewhere near Stromheim, I'll tell you that that's the capital of Eridon, and that you know it's run by this young princess. Or I guess she's the queen now, but she's only been in power for a little while. But I won't bother mentioning things like that until you run into them.
Is there is there a document somewhere?
Dude, there's a whole wiki.
Oh, right. Okay, sure.
You can dig forever.
I've seen it. I've seen it. I just, I wasn't sure if there was anything. Okay, sure.
There's
Gotcha.
everything, yeah.
Okay.
And another fun thing that I'm going to note is that I will tell different party members different truths about the world. So other parties in the past have heard that Scoria will frequently like eat princes and princesses and like the children of nobles, and like that's how she helps keep her power in the area. But that's because none of those parties were from Mystria. You people in Mystria know that really Scoria is more apt to kidnap children, or maybe like kill the youngest child as a threat that she can kill other children. She's not actually, I mean, she does. Who doesn't like eating people from time to time? But she's not so much like, I'm gonna go eat the princess, or I'm gonna go like eat the prince. That's the things that people outside of your country know. So the things that I tell you that you know,
Right.
there might be some flexibility on the truth. Right.
Okay.
Got it.
So just to be aware.
Sure.
And he's gonna lie to us all the time. Is what he's telling
I
me.
will lie to you all the time.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
But it's from the perspective of what our characters, being from where we are, should know based on where our origins are. Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Right.
Is there anything else about the Red Dragon we need to know? That was really my only question before you went on that tangent.
Sure. Scoria. She is an age class 12 great worm red dragon. That is the biggest, most powerful red dragon you can have. She lives in what is now known as Dragon Mountain for obvious reasons. Right over here. Whoops. It's the Stony Ridge, but she lives in Dragon Peak. It's right over there. And let's zoom in on that stuff too. People pay her tribute every year. Every season she collects it by coming across this way and across the river, and there's an entrance to her lair over here. Everyone knows where the entrance is, or at least, the general vicinity, but she lives there, and it's guarded by her minions. She has giants and trolls that that guard the lair itself, in addition to God knows what else, as well as various goblinoids and other monsters that live in the woods nearby that she sends off to do, her bidding. If someone crosses her, or let's say someone doesn't show up to pay tribute or doesn't show up to do something and she needs to go get a person, she will send her minions into the town or the village or the city at night, and when they come in, they sort of fuck shit up. If you stay out of the way and don't look at them, they will leave you alone. So you just hide in your house when the minions come in. Don't look, it's fine. If you go and you're peering out your window to get a glimpse of them and they see you, they'll probably eat your face just because that's who they are as creatures.
Awesome.
And if people actively resist her minions and fight them off, then she comes and levels the town with dragonfire. So she rules over everything. Her word is law. Those who stand up suffer greatly or get destroyed. Luckily, we're not. You're off on another continent, across the canal. You don't have to deal with her very much right now.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, there is also an entrance to her lair at the very top of the peak. She's leveled this, there's this big spire that comes up, and she's leveled it off so it's nice and flat and carved a giant column all the way down it. Big enough for a massive red dragon to fly up and to fly down. And then once inside, either through the air entrance or the ground entrance, her lair is a network of tunnels and caves, and no one really knows what's inside there because no one really has survived. She has a human spellcaster that works with her ogres and trolls and giants that guard the front of her lair. This is the most evil person in your entire country. This spellcaster, who I haven't figured out the details of yet, has eagerly switched sides and readily betrays all of you all to help her out and, you know, gain power through her by association. He or she has all sorts of detection spells, location spells, is intimately familiar with the countryside and the communities, goes in this guy's the worst. This is like...
So I don't want to stop you right there. But his name isn't Malachi, is it? I mean, this isn't who's sitting down here at the base of
If
this
his name is Malachi, it is a coincidence. It is not the Malachi from Hardcore Heroes. Yes.
Just curious.
Yeah. This guy, I don't know if there's anything worse than like a class or race trader, but he's in that like race class power trader. You know, he's working with the enemy and screwing all over you people to get ahead. This person is the fucking worst. What else do we need to tell you about? Oh, let's talk economics. The dragon wants gold, silver, platinum, and mithril. She loves those things. She doesn't really care much for steel or iron or copper. So gold, silver, platinum, and mithril, at first their prices went way up when she conquered a few hundred years back. And then when monsters started running around killing people for their money, gold, silver, platinum, mithril plummeted. They are basically worthless. If you have them, it is a liability because someone's going to steal it from you and kill you for it in order to give it to the dragon. So everyone works on copper and iron, or copper and steel. We're going to use steel and iron interchangeably.
System on people now.
So as you go about looting the rest of the world,
how he forces the copper currency.
Any gold, silver, or platinum that you find while you're like looting Eridon or these other areas is not going to be particularly useful for you. You'll exchange it for 20 copper. No,
Okay.
10. I'm looking at my notes. I got different notes here. They're basically worth 10 copper to you because you sell them to the nobles give them to the dragon, and then the dragon doesn't kill people. You're mostly interested in materials you can work with and do things worth, like brass, bronze, copper, iron and steel, and mithril. Even though the dragon likes mithril, it's super fucking useful. Those are the real value for you. I have a whole history for her that I'll give you guys when I'm done writing it. Let's see.
I love that. I've got a whole history for you when I'm done with it.
Well, I finished most of it last night, but I need to make some adjustments.
No, I'm just giving you a hard time, Neil. It's better than I would do.
Class. Classes are Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 9 to 11 a.m. There will be weekly quizzes and mandatory.
Yep. Okay. I think that's all the lore I have about the dragon. Cool. She's the queen bitch of the universe. She is brutally evil. Oh, last thing about her. This area up here to the north, this is elven territory. And the elves have, I don't want to quite say been holding her off, but she goes and like burns their forest, and the elves use all their stupid elven bullshit to try and like regrow the woods, and they use their expert archers who are all like 13th level by now because they're so fucking old. They're all perfect expert archers to like keep her at bay. And her general pastime is just like burning elven forests and killing elves when she gets tired of pretty much anything else. So she's sort of been harassing them for hundreds of years, willy-nilly.
So they're really put down.
Yeah, they've been very just distracted with her. It's been the focus of their life for a long time.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
The only other thing I have to ask is who do we pay our taxes to? Who's our land guy? Who's the dude fucking on us for our taxes?
Right. So the name of the landlord that owns your village has yet to be determined.
Okay.
But I will give you some details on that person. And the system we're going to have set up is you've got this like resupply base, and what the deal you make with this person is any of the precious, we're going to call them noble coins that you bring back, or noble metals you bring back, he will buy from you at like 8 copper each instead of the 10 that you might pay it to a noble, and then also ship it back to you to your land on your behalf, so you don't have to make trips all the way back to the ruined homeland. So you'll get maybe a slightly less efficient trade, but you have to do a lot less work, like going back and forth. And then he will hold them in credit for you as well. So if you want to spend it as credit for in rooms or supplies, you can do that. He's going to be a combination supplier, banker, resting point, and all sorts of other stuff.
So at the moment, he seems like
Medici? I was going to say, is his last name Medici? Because that's kind of what it sounds like to me.
I don't know who Medici is.
Is this a reference for not getting?
It's an old Italian family. The first people who came up with
Oh,
modern
yeah.
banking.
Oh.
They're like the most famous banking family of all time. I don't know.
Medici. Yeah.
Okay. The old Italian merchants. Similar, not the same. She, I haven't decided on this person,
Well, it's the same
is going to be
concept,
well, they're also an adventure of their own, somewhere between 5th and 7th level, who, when they can't make enough money selling things to you guys and trading things to you guys, will go out on their own and capture, kill people and monsters and for their
Neat.
loot. Exact same situation as you. Got to bring back money to the homeland to keep my people alive.
So this guy generally sounds like a somewhat helpful person at the moment.
Sort of. Let's not quite classify him
gotcha.
as an ally. More
Sure.
of like
Not an enemy.
not an enemy. Like, you guys are both after the same shit, but for now there's enough of it to go around for everybody.
Gotcha.
And this person's 5th to 7th level, so fairly powerful. Doesn't really want to be here, but is capable. And this is the NPC who will kill you when you cross him and piss him off. And this is the
Sure.
NPC that doesn't have time to like verify information, who will sort of act on instinct and gut. So if you guys are in a situation that looks bad, even if it's not actually bad, you're in a lot of trouble. However, if you've done something terrible and he has like isn't even remotely aware of it, you're totally fine. It's the like goes on gut, goes with what he thinks is happening, not necessarily what is happening. And so appearances with this person are going to be more important than facts, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Cool.
Yeah, makes sense.
All right.
Makes sense.
Great. Well then, this is it for Desperate Measures character creation. We will see you on the 8th of September for our first session. You can find me on twitch.tv/Koibu or on Koibu on Twitter or anything like that. You can find Mr. Mouton, also known as Lucas, also known as...
Ebner.
Where can we find you, Ebner?
Twitch.tv/Mrmouton or YouTube.com/Mrmouton.
What about a Twitter?
Mr. Mouton.
Wow. And to the south of Ebner, we have Tom, also known as Azure Wind, also known as...
Callum.
And where do we find you?
Twitch.tv/AzureWind. That's spelled AZUREWIND, like the color blue and then wind. It was an old city of... Yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead. Old City of...
It was an old City of Heroes character. That's where I got my name from. I played City of Heroes back in the day. So
nice. Is there YouTube or a Twitter or something where people can find you?
Same thing actually. Pretty much everywhere. Actually, I'm sorry. YouTube is actually the Azure Wind, and then Twitter is just Azure Wind. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Same thing.
And over that way, we have Connor, also known as Quantumech, also known as...
Jeb.
Where can they find
me
you?
Right here on the weekends, assuming I'm not at work or at work.
All right. And last but not least, in that corner, we've got Will, also known as Will B.
So we got
known as-
Wilbur, we got Will Kills, we got a whole bunch of different shit. But if you're looking for me, look for Will Kills. Kills has 3 L's because I was an edgy kid as a child, and I'm not very creative, so we're keeping the same name. So if you're looking for me, that's where we're at.
Is that what you are on Twitter?
That's
have a
why I'm
Twitter?
on Twitch. I mean, I'm deleting my Facebook. We've got another 14 days before that gets deleted, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Nice.
Countdown. Excitement.
Fantastic. All right. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
All right. Peace.
Take care, guys.